Guys, I mean, let's just go through. I'm still really choked up about this whole everything that's happened here. I mean,
Yeah, you lost your voice. What happened?
I was just yelling at the top of my lungs and crying at the top of my lungs, which I don't even know if that's a thing that you do. Just
Yes, you
Well,
can
that
do
would be
that.
proud.
you could do that? Okay. I can't believe this is One Piece is just over after 900 chapters. I mean, what are we
Yeah.
even supposed to keep doing every Monday?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll do a sequel series following the rest of the crew members that didn't get killed. Maybe Oda's assistants will make it or something.
Yeah,
So-
maybe Luffy had a secret son named Boofy.
Oh, you mean
gonna be
Buffy's
called-
dad?
Oh, well, Boofy's dad is One Piece.
Yeah.
One Piece is a prequel series. It was planned all along, probably.
So would the sequel be Two Piece?
It's gonna be Zoruto.
Zoruto.
My son is also named Zoruto.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's not make light of the situation, guys.
Sorry.
This could be our last episode unless we want to focus only on the anime.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
this is seeming very bleak.
I guess Sam
Hey.
is getting his own podcast after this. Then
Nah, it's all right, guys. It's all right. Pudding will just undo it all with her power next chapter.
you think?
I don't know. This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 513 for the week of April 2nd, 2018. My name is Ed.
And my name is Zach.
And my name is Alex. We switched it.
We did.
And joining us this week, first we have our very special guest, the translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump, Mr. Stephen Paul.
Hey, weather's great in SoCal.
We don't
it's doing
care.
fine. I wanna know how New York is for Zach right now.
It was snowing this morning in April, okay? Why don't you just shut up?
All right. Also joining us this week is the author of the Eisner-nominated graphic novel series Merman. That's Joey Weiser.
Hey guys, I'm excited to be on and ready to talk all about Gegege no Kitaro. We're doing
Yeah.
today, right?
I don't know. You could probably convince Sam to talk about that. It's replacing Dragon Ball Super on his. I don't know if he's going to review that, but that'd be cool. Anyway, also joining us this week we have OnePiecePodcast.com columnist occasionally, Jill.
Hi, everyone. Long time no podcast.
Yeah, where have you
and belated
been?
happy birthday, Zach.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
I
happy
started
birthday,
playing my
Zach.
first MMO, and that's that. That's my life.
Wow.
I mean, everyone. Well, a lot of people do that.
No wonder you haven't been on the podcast.
Oh, full on 5 months of my life has been spent on this now.
That is worst excuse, Jill. Worst excuse.
Not an excuse.
It's not even an excuse, you're right.
It's just an explanation.
So on this week's episode, we have anime episode 830, as well as the momentous chapter 900,
Never
Bad
heard of it.
End Musical. So
So we
It's gonna
will
be
all
thick.
we'll all be singing on this week's chapter, especially me. So that'll
that's
be
really more
fun.
of a Millhouse thing, I thought.
So yeah, Ed, thank you for helping take some of the voice burden from me.
Well, a friend in need. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Ed. So we should mention Patreon. And Ed, do you want to mention Patreon?
Sure, patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. I believe it's the $5 a month tier. Will give you access to our entire back catalog as well as exclusive episodes.
So Ed's not
my-
exactly correct. It's the $3 a month tier, but we're
Hey.
going to be changing the tiers probably a little bit in the coming months. The $10 tier gets you exclusives, outtakes, I said exclusives already, videos, and a lot more. Patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. It's all cool. It's good. Steven, there was an interview that was supposed to be in Shonen Jump. What the hell happened to that?
Hey, don't yell at me. I am
Why'd
not
you
an
do
employee of this. Yeah, I don't know. I sabotaged. Haha. No, I honestly don't know why. It must have been pretty bad because I'm sure if they had any inkling that they were not going to be able to run it, I'm sure they would not have put the blurb in last week's issue. But hey, at least it gives us something new and official to talk about next week when the manga is off.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's good that you mentioned that the manga is off, probably forever. Who knows? I mean, that seems reasonable.
Next week and all weeks.
And all weeks in the future. So we're going to be going through volume 88, Stephen. I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we had a choice. We had to make a decision. All right, we can do one of these two. And we're going to do volume 88 first. And then I suppose the next time there's a break, we will do Color Walk 8 Wolf and go over that. Yeah, we will go through the usual SBS stuff. There's some interesting things in there, the usual shebang, and we'll also have that interview between Viz and Eiichiro Oda to look forward to as well.
Interview with who?
Eiichiro Oda.
Who?
Oh, I thought you meant the interview from the Color Walk. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. The interview in the Color Walk, I believe, is Katsuya Terada, the artist. But that will not be next week.
Right.
That'll be in a future week. We also hope to do some cool other special things for next week. Keep an eye out on social media. I don't think we have anything specifically planned. But yeah, that'll hopefully be fun. Yeah, so you mentioned the anime episode already, Ed, that we have this week.
Episode 830.
Okay, and we have our chapter 900 recap. Why don't we get straight away into that? You guys ready?
All right.
You bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the manga recap for chapter 900, Bad End Musical. That's the end of my voice. Ed, what's going on in the front page of Shonen Jump?
On the cover of Shonen Jump this week, we have count them, 4 living members of the Straw Hat Pirates.
That's true.
For now.
It's a really it's a surprisingly proportional drawing of Nami.
I was thinking that.
This is
so cute.
It's a very striking image. Like, it seems very simple, but very, like, I don't know. It feels different than the covers that we usually see.
He's
Also,
also
there's a
pointing-
background.
They're going towards the light.
No, this cover is directed by J.J. Abrams.
They're
I don't
going
see
towards the
anyone
light because
Yeah.
that's basically what has happened here.
Oh, you stole my
chapter.
joke, Jill. Why does everyone steal my jokes?
I love I would 100% read a manga series by Oda in this style.
Props to anyone who manually draws lens flares. Speaking of which, it's not an easy thing to actually draw.
Oh, we're talking about the cover image of Jump. Never mind. I thought we were talking about the color spread already.
Jumping the gun.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
this
thought you
is
just meant a fully painted, or I guess
Yeah.
markered, or whatever this is.
This
It
Nami
certainly
outfit
looks
very
better
funny.
than the full color manga volumes.
Oh
never
yeah,
mind.
yeah. That Nami looks great. Actually, it's like the
That's
best Nami's
no,
ever.
she's worn that outfit before. We haven't seen her wear those jeans with the rings on them on the outside for a long time.
Well,
Also,
this is-
his jeans look really good. They look like jeans. They're all
It's not
the-
painted on.
This is the cleanest Jump cover you'll ever see.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
one illustration.
let's talk about the color spread, Ed.
So I think Steve on Twitter pointed out this is clearly inspired by Animal Crossing. As
Oh,
a
yes.
non-game player, I do not know much about anything.
Yeah, I that was a great observation because I spent a long time wondering why is he doing a Zoe color spread? That's interesting.
Yeah, it was the trees that made it pop
The
out
trees, Yeah.
and the fruit everywhere.
Yeah, like I said about a minute ago, I would read an entire series by Oda done in this style. I think it feels
Yeah.
very Akira Toriyama to me, like sort of SD characters.
Yeah.
It's how he draws all of those like 3-page, like the
Omake.
log, the
Omake.
comment. Yeah. All those things are always great.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
We have Chopper with his rose. That's beautiful. That's adorable.
Yeah, he's going on a date with
Milky.
Tristan.
That's
Is it?
right, Tristan.
No, Milky is the reindeer lady.
Oh,
right,
Tristan's
Tristan as
squirrel
well.
nurse. That's squirrel nurse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
She's in the background there.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
love this illustration as well. I think it looks like it would be perfect for like a jigsaw puzzle or
Mm.
something.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Mhm.
I love how
where's Dr. Miyagi?
He's up in the
he's
top
up
there with the
Yeah.
Musketeers.
Oh.
Yep, there
You're
he
like,
is.
Well, there's another
And
doctor
just
who
below
is
him is Pickums or Peekums peeking out.
I believe you mean the Mystery Warrior Mistums.
so we have Beppo, but Law's nowhere to be found. So this is an extra awesome color spread for me.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's because
Um,
everyone had to be in a good mood.
Yeah, this is probably one of my favorite color spreads in a long time.
I hope this
love
is the next spring calendar. Is what I want.
Yeah. Oh, so if anybody has been following the author comments in the back, yeah, Oda had talked about a couple issues ago, I believe, that he was addicted to Pocket Camp.
Mhm.
That
And
makes
all
sense.
of his friends had stopped playing. Very
And,
sad.
and this week we learned he has astigmatism.
No. Zach, you're burying the lead here because for the first time in his life, he has glasses. Like, how are you an artist bent over like drawing for this many years and you only just now needed glasses?
It's
Oda's slow to self-care, as we've learned.
Yeah.
he is, and I have a parent who is an eye doctor, and I learned through law school that you're not really supposed to get laser eye surgery during law school because your vision gets significantly worse during the time that you're in school. So I could only imagine with Oda the amount of deterioration in his ability to see through the course of the series.
Well, one thing's for sure, we're definitely going to see a lot more characters with glasses moving forward.
We're going to see even more tiny drawings in the background.
I think that's a great thing. I think Oda's drawing style may improve significantly because of it, or may already have been. Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey,
Yeah.
can I ask a question before I move on?
No.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Why is there a whale on Zoe? Or how was
Zoe.
there? Well, I mean, never mind. I was going to say, how is there a whale on Zoe?
Maybe it's a reference to that giant whale in the whale forest.
No, I think
Uh,
I think it just fell down. Like, that's the river where all the fish flow down the side, and he got sucked up by Zoe and spit out on the back.
Maybe it's just a fun color spread where it's not supposed to make sense.
I love the detail that Usopp has the beetle in the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this is Animal Crossing, then who is the Tom Nook of this? Is it just
Nami.
It's
It's
Nami.
100% Nami.
She's fishing with money at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This
thought-
is the rent that they gave me.
There was a second there I thought Usopp was carrying an abacus.
Wanda's giving Zoro looks like he just woke up from like a bad trip or something because he's being offered an orange. Like he's
He's in the LSD tent.
The cool out tent.
They're at Bonnaroo.
And I'm happy to see Cat Viper front and center. I miss Cat Viper. Have I mentioned I miss Cat Viper?
Oh, look, Dogstorm has a peg leg now.
Yep.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Now let's haul ass to Lollapalooza.
Yeah, I could go
So
on
is this
about
all
this.
Zoro's vision? That's why everything's all trippy looking.
Should we get started with this? Let's call it the final chapter of One Piece.
I've been trying to delay it. Anyway.
Well, we're not going to have.
Start.
We're never going to get to do another one again ever. So Ed, start us off.
So this is Big Mom's Forces, Fluffy Island, and we see Prometheus hanging over the island there as Big Mom stuffs her face. She's already lit into the cake at the beginning of this chapter. The townspeople continue to run. It's a Parasparrow with the big opera glasses. Or this is just regular binoculars, but it looks fancy when he wears them. Along with, is that Brownie next to him?
Bavaroa.
Bavaroa,
yeah.
right? Okay, and Capone has got he's competing in like the wife carrying competition as he screes away on his treads but because Chiffon is sort of tipped upside down, she can see she's looking back behind them as they rush away. You zoom in on her eyes, which is it's a nice little look there.
Mhm.
Next page.
And Jill.
Yeah. and we go straight to a panel of Big Mom gulping down Sanji's sweet creamy cake.
She's covered in
Sweet
it.
cake.
She's
Sweet,
just covered
sweet
in
cake.
it. And we go to a mini flashback of Chiffon talking about how Sanji's method's going to take all night, but he promises that he can do it in 2 hours. And she's like, it'll be fine. He's a true cook. The cake will be delicious. And he's just happy because even though the life of his crew and the ship and never goes on it, he just wants to see Big Mom's face when she sees how delicious it is. And I love that Sanji face a lot. Every time he makes it, it's just great. And Pudding almost passes out because of that face as well. And then we go right back to Big Mom, and she has, I guess her brain has realized the taste, and she falls backwards because it was so powerful to her. And whatever this guy's name is, I can never remember. Perrine. Wonders if it's, there we go. Wonders if it's poison. And in this amazing panel, Big Mom looks up into the sky at this cake where light is shining down on it from the heavens because it is that tasty. She's
So good.
crying. And she says,
Is this the face that Sanji was imagining? You think?
I think so.
it would have to be.
Future
Actually-
winemaker.
It's actually the closest to the face he was imagining at Fishman Island that she would look like, remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. This whole chapter is Sanji's daydream. Ah.
Not Patrick Duffy's.
And she says,
Yep, we
it's
get
to die for. What a wonderfully sweet, delicious cake. And she's got all shoujo-fied for this panel.
I kind of
that panel's
liked.
great.
I kind of like too. I didn't really think about this that much until Jill pointed out. But it's kind of rare that you have a like a Sanji kind of, I guess, simpering face, like where he's, his features are all curled up, where he's thinking about something, but he's not perving out. Like this isn't like heart eyes Sanji. It's like it's just nice Sanji,
Yeah.
which
Genuine.
is kind of sweet. Yeah,
I like this rebrand of Sanji that's happened.
yeah.
Same.
So we go to the next page, and Prospero seems to be shocked by this. I guess this clearly was not what he was expecting from the poison cake. This reaction from Big Mom, and she's like, triumphant. She seems like she's more rational now. She's like, yes, this is real wedding cake, and she's doing the Oprah arm wave thing, and.
And bees come out of the cake.
Yeah, yes.
Big Oprah.
Get a cake.
And Chiffon, from her like kind of I don't know what this is, like this kind of Hanna-Barbera situation here. She's like celebrating as she's slung over Capone's shoulder. Yes, she came to a stop, and Chiffon's crying, and the crowd of onlookers from Fluffy Town or Fluffy Island, I should say, are oh wait, she's back to her senses? She's not rampaging, and the only thing Mama's rampaging on right now is this cake, as she is stuffing her face. She's got the heart eyes now, and the siblings are wondering, is it poisoned? And Prospero, of course, is certain that it must be poisoned, but Big Mom's just too badass for the poison to work on her.
And if you notice, her sound effects of biting already have musical notes in them before she starts singing.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. And she is kind of singing. She's already got the musical notes. As she's exclaiming that she just can't get enough of this flavor. I know it from somewhere, but what is it? It's just so yummy. And then Prospero gets on. He gets on the horn to deliver an update to all Totoland Islands that there will be no further damage. And Montdor, with his phone book there, is celebrating. Yes, and thanks to Pudding, the 35th daughter of Charlotte, Mama's hunger pangs have abated, and everybody's all gathered around the woohoo! The day is saved.
At
Door?
Perospero's like chomped up hat.
yeah.
You can really see how beat up and stuff he is.
Yeah,
Mm.
indeed.
I love Mont Dork and Niwatori. He's like celebrating, like he's kicking his legs up and pumping his fists in the air like that. What a nerd.
And Niwatori, on the other hand, is like, oh, thank God.
He's
Oh
like
my
wiping
God.
his brow.
Yeah, he's the more correct reaction there. Alex, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rest of the island is so relieved. They're jubilant. They say, "Oh, thank goodness, we're right next to Cacao Island." So I thought we were next, and now we're in the back streets of Cacao Island, where the citizens of Cacao Island are also celebrating. And they're saying, yes, the lady putting. She used the talents of Chiffon, the trader, which combined with her chocolate helped to save all of Total Land. Oh, what a great thing that just befell us! And they're
They've
congratulating.
even got Constable Chocolate there.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, back from our first appearance of Pudding. And everybody is congratulating Pudding and thanking her, and she's sitting there in the alley saying, "Oh, you're wrong. It wasn't me."
God, that's a great look on her face. Like,
It is, yeah.
yeah, that's really well done.
And we zoom out to the sea around Cacao Island, where we still get some choppy waters. And Daifuku and Smoothie notice that, hey, the ship stopped. There are fishermen in the sea. And the Sun Pirates continue to clash with the Charlotte family in some awesome sea battle panels that I am absolutely in love with. This is what I want to see in One Piece. Like, this is what I want to be the final battle. Just nothing but on the sea, ship to ship. Just look at all these ships going down. Like, it's
like people hanging on to wrecked ships and stuff.
Yes.
And just the fishermen pirate or the Sun Pirates here, just like out for blood. Basically, it's really cool.
Yeah, I love the idea of these characters who can just like stay stagnant in choppy waters because that's just the life they live. And they can. So the Sun Pirates continue their assault. And, oh no, there's a hole in the bilge! Cries out. The bilge cries out. One of the Charlotte boats, and they say, "Oh, we got this, Captain Jinbei." And they've opened up a very convenient path, very similar to the path that was made on Dressrosa, where it's just a.
See, I was going to say in Exodus, but
yes.
Sure.
Oh well.
It is Passover right now, so
You got that on the brain, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that one of the ones where you eat, or one of the ones where you don't eat?
It's one of the ones where you don't eat, but you also eat. You just don't eat bread. You don't eat leavened. You don't eat leavened bread. That one.
I've already failed that. I'm a
Oprah
bad
would
Jew.
hate
Oh yeah. Oh, I had bacon already.
and you guys are, man. Jesus is gonna smite you.
That's not how that works. But
They were already going to do
Moses.
that, but
Moses
for
is
other
gonna
stuff,
smite
not that.
them.
Yeah, Moses.
I'm just joshing you guys. Sanji knows that. Oh, look, there's a convenient straight line path in front of us. We should head through it. And the entirety of the Sun Pirates and Watatsumi, who is, I guess, now a member of the Sun Pirates, who is playing with two ships. He is so huge.
oh, I didn't even notice that. That's amazing.
He's gonna make him kiss.
Yeah.
Ship.
Oh no.
He does kind of have the Mike Tyson voice, like, now kid.
So they're cheering Jinbei and crew on.
Oh my God, Wadatsumi as Mike Tyson is the most amazing comparison. Okay. Joey, yeah.
So on the next page, Jinbei puts everything together that it was his comrades of the Fishermen Pirates that had stolen the enemy's location information and had bailed them out of trouble all along. And meanwhile, Luffy's kind of still recovering, and he says that he can definitely see why they're his crew. And then meanwhile, on another ship, a foot comes out of a mirror, and it's Master Oven. And the crew members are asking him if all is well on Cacao Island, and he says that it's only a matter of time, and Brule is helping to bring over ammunition, a special ammunition designed to work on Germa. But he is set on getting revenge on that boy who defeated Katakuri. he says with a little vein mark in his word balloon. And meanwhile, that boy is cheering on, saying, "Thank you, guys," as they're zooming away. And Aladdin is cheering them on, saying, "Take care of Jimbei." But just then, Oven breaks out his tropical torment and heats up the water, frying a bunch of fish. And then Umibozu, speaking of yokai, I knew I'd fit one in there.
There you go.
So, and Jinbei knows what's up. He says that it's Oven boiling the seawater as Wadatsumi, in a very sad and cute panel, swims down below to try to get away from the hot water. It's too hot. I gotta get away. And then, meanwhile, over a snail, we hear Montor, the Queen Mama chanter, will be arriving soon.
Which I guess is the name of that ship that we never knew the name of. Yeah.
Shantae?
Yeah.
Shantae.
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 Yes.
Shantae, you stay.
So that's the ship with the face on it. That's a shippy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we knew that because of merchandising, but this is the first actual use of the name in the series.
Merchandising.
Yes.
Montor is very excited. They're in time.
Yeah, when Montour's happy, there's something to worry about. So we're gonna do this a little bit differently, Steven.
Yes. All right. So actually,
let's do
what I'm going to
musical
do,
number here.
I'm actually going to do this twice. And the reason is I kind of wanted to do a little demonstration here, because yes, the next several pages, basically to the end of the chapter, is Big Mom's song. She's kind of bookending the arc with the end song now that she's had her cake. And so I did a lot. If you, I don't know if you did any comparisons of material, I did a lot of work to kind of actually tidy this up into what we would kind of recognize as a musical type song. And so what I wanted to do was to recite, to basically act out. I'm not going to sing because there's no song, but to act out my finished version, and then like basically read kind of verbatim what a straightforward, like a literal translation of the original Japanese would be. And so I was going to ask you guys, like, should I do my version first, or do you want to hear the Japanese first? And then I'll go and do the other one.
That's a
I
good
think
question.
go with yours
the
first.
literal one first, right?
Yeah, let's do the literal. Then we'll end up with the more musical number, and we'll have those good, terrible feelings at the end. So yeah, start with the literal version first. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And we'll go over these pages once this is all done in more detail. So we start off with Big Mom chowing down on the cake, and it kind of creates this rhythm here. You can see with the woof chomp gulp, woof chomp gulp, and the guys are marching. So you get this like dun 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 dun. And so in the Japanese, what she says is, what is this? This flavor of dreams? I've never seen it in my dreams. I can't find the words to describe it. What flavor is this? Even rotting puppies dance. The flavor Pet Cemetery. So sweet and milky and rich and risky. And she continues, yes, this is the excitement, like throwing a bomb into an amusement park, the stomach's big ceremony. And then on the next set of pages, she continues, say, mother, can you feel it, this overflowing sweetness of happiness, or happy sweetness? That's right. It's the flavor of happiness from that time. And then someday let's all get together to eat it together. So sweet and milky and rich and risky. Hey, mother, I can definitely do it, right? A place where everyone is happy, a world of peace, where any race is, where no race is denied. But if you leave, I will kill you. A deal with the devil, peaceful Toto land, everyone is family, the kind queen, Big Mom. And that is the end of so that would be a very straightforward reading of the content itself for that song. And this is the version that I came up with.
Can we give it a
When I was
rhythm or
at,
something? Like, should we be
well,
clapping
okay,
along?
It's got its own
No.
rhythm already, I think.
Yeah, see, this is why I kind of wanted to recite this. It's myself because it's actually got a rather complex meter. Like each of the sections of rhymes ended up with a slightly different like number of syllables. So the actual rhythm of it kind of shifts from page to page. So yeah, this is the way it goes. Is whoof chomp gulp, whoof chomp gulp, And she says, What's this flavor? It tastes just like a dream, but I couldn't have defined it. But why, I can't even define it. This taste is far from ordinary. It gets dead puppies dancing merry, along with all confectionery in my pet flavor cemetery. And then the chorus is so sweet, and milky, and rich, and risky. And the risky there, the original kanji was dangerous, which it kind of rhymes with the milky, so I couldn't get away from it. But I didn't know, I didn't feel like it, carried quite as well. But yeah, that is the danger. So she continues. Yes, that's it. That's just the spark. A flavor bomb in an amusement park. In my stomach, you will see a great big flavor ceremony. Tell me, mother, can you sense it? This overwhelming sugar bliss? Yes, that's right. The one and only flavor of sheer happiness. When will we reunite at last to eat this cake and reminisce? So sweet, and milky, and rich, and risky. And the homies, yeah. Tell me, mother, do you think I've got enough ability to build a place of happiness, a world of pure tranquility, where all the races of the globe are treated with normality? But if you leave, you'll have to face your imminent mortality. And then the ending here with all of the homies in the kind of classic fairy tale look. A deal with the devil makes Totoland serene. Here we're all a family, thanks to our loving queen, Big Mom. And then that was yummy down the hatch.
Wow. You beautiful bastard.
Yeah.
This was very like it felt with the meter it felt like either Nightmare Before Christmas or Heffalumps and Woozles, like very the creepy side of Disney.
And also kind of the March of the the Wooden Tin Soldier, that might be a little bit old.
From Babes in Toyland?
Babes in Toyland, that's it. Yeah.
Never mind, I was thinking the Little Drummer Boy.
I was very curious, especially about that dead puppies line. So it was interesting to hear that actually is represented pretty faithfully.
Yeah, that was that. Right. So that kind of interestingly, so Japanese does not really have rhymes in the same way that English does, or at least not a culture of rhyming. And so like this sort of concept of these sort of musical numbers where you have all these like clever rhyming schemes and this like tweaking your vocabulary to make things kind of work in a rhythm. It's not. I don't want to say that like they can't understand it or something, but there's just isn't like a culture of doing it. But he did actually have a few points where there was kind of a rhyme, and I could tell because he wrote it in katakana, so it was English. And one of the sets of them was pet cemetery in that line, and then big ceremony, which it's not a perfect rhyme, but you could tell that okay, he was going for some kind of matching stuff there. And so that I definitely had to kind of make sure that I got that stuff in there.
So we should probably go through this page by page, and then I'm sure we could discuss this at much, much further length, though definitely not with as much impact as I feel like we just had. So at the beginning of the song, we see Big Mom slowly ingest the Sanji cake, and her transformation of faces.
The one where she's stuffing her face is so Disney. Like she looks exactly like the one, the chest of drawers from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah.
And
I love the face, like with her eyes like that. It's very creepy. It's super cool.
And it's kind of like that stupid meme that's been going around Simpsons, but straight on. I feel like it's the same kind of
liver and onions.
We don't get a lot of those like straight on kind of looks in art generally, so it gives an extra creepy vibe. We see the soldiers coming forth. We see her continuing to eat the cake as the fairy tale continues. And as she ingests it, we go into her mouth and into the actual pet flavor cemetery where we see zombified dogs and trees and
and
other
flowers with
homies.
teeth.
Yes, equally creepy.
God.
Here,
Yeah.
this is the crossover between the Seducing Woods and Thriller Bark that we were thinking
That
of.
we were looking for. And
Yeah.
it's interweaved between what we presume is reality, where we have the shippy ship. What was it called again? The
Shantae.
With Vogue face.
yeah,
Shippy McFix ship face.
Shippy McFix ship face. And the bombing raids that are happening there, and the pet cemetery inside of Big Mom's mouth, presumably. And it ends with a big explosion, as she says, risky. Ed, what's
It's
next?
very close to that explosion is very close to the Sunny. So
Yeah. I think it's worth noting
Close one.
that is, that's a ship that is very close to the Sunny. That is definitely not the Sunny.
Correct.
Yeah. And close up on the next page, we get close up of the ship, and is that
Nami?
Nami? I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to see. We only get to see like a quarter of her face,
Mhm.
or a quarter of her head. But we get that Montdoor's dorky celebration of him just like, I can just see him like a rich guy, like he won a bet or something, and he's just laying back and kicking his feet up. He's very Mr.
Exactly.
Burns.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, for me it's like when a bad guy celebrates, it's like in the trading places kind of guys like celebrating almost.
Yeah, in a very childish way. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
He's gonna win a $1 in a bet.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
looks like he's sitting on a lawn chair, like poolside,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So we get the Germa boys are being pretty much decimated. Like they're getting blasted away. Like so Yonji's gone flying. Ichiji and Niji are sort of they're holding their ground.
So this
Remember
is
who
I guess
who this dude is?
this is that anti-Germa gun
Yeah,
Oven
this
was
must
talking
be
about,
the,
I guess.
Candy jackets, right? That was what Pudding called them back
Oh yeah,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good memory.
Who's this big dude with a scythe?
That's one of the
I don't know.
dectuplets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
You sure?
Oh man.
Yeah, there
it's
was
all
a guy
the
with a-
dectuplets merged into one.
There was a guy with a scythe a few chapters back. Again, I apologize that I sound like an adolescent teenager this week.
I know that they all have scythes, but that dude looks particularly lanky and scary.
But maybe they did all like combine Gatai.
Yeah, it could have been that, or it could just be to set the scene a little bit better here. Because
That could be.
everyone looks a little more intimidating than they used to. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe none of this is real. Anyway,
What is this? The end of Newhart?
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is we get the little flashback to Mother Carmel as Big Mom lifts another hunk of cake, and so this is the anti-Germa chain gun firing. They're all getting shot. Reiju, it doesn't look to be hit. Well, she's hit a little bit, but they're trying to block it. None of them are doing particularly well.
Ichiji refuses to not look cool.
Right?
I think Yanji's just dead.
More than the others. Yeah.
Look, I
He was
can't
down.
deny that I am absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, Reiju probably just has Yonji's blood on her. She's fine.
So we get the realization, the zoom in on Big Mom's eyes. So we get the image of her 6th birthday party with all of the children, and
Specifically tying that to the flavor of happiness, which is
Right.
what she is fixated upon.
mhm.
That's the croquembouche.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, happy birthday, Lin Lin.
Happy birth, Linlin Day.
It was the Seblas act, not the Croquembouche.
No, this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this
No,
was
she's-
no. This was a croquembouche here.
No,
Okay.
her birthday was the
The
special
semblance.
treats.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Croquembouche is just at the beginning of the
No,
year.
I thought the croquembouche came back in the flashback at some point, though.
I think technically, if they like drizzled a bunch of syrup over it, it would become a croquembouche.
That's what I
but-
thought. I
Yeah.
mean, that's literally, that's actually what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Joey.
So yeah, on the next page, Leon's getting larger, and Big Mom is back
Love it.
to her full glorious form as she floats into the sky, up to the heavens with her poor deceased friends. Whatever happened to them? And as
Good
she glares
question.
on, we see the battling continue. Germa's taking some big hits. I really love the expressions of all the snails in this panel, where they're all kind of like, "Ooh, no."
Ooh, not over there. Ugh.
Yeah. So, the Legos are flying or whatever, and the Germa guys are also flying through the air, and Judge is confronting a big, scary looking dude. Do we know who this guy is?
Snack. That's my
Snack.
guess.
Is that? Yeah, it's
It looks like
Probably,
Snack.
yeah. Mm.
he's got a weird head thing, so possibly.
We still haven't seen him. We've only just seen the silhouette.
No, we
Yeah.
saw the side of his face 2 chapters ago, I think. We saw, like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. Not very
And so
much.
the Big Mom's shippy ship approaches the Sunny and is leering over it with a smoking cannon, and the Straw Hats are freaking out. Luffy's pointing right at it as Brook is losing his marbles in the background. And we get to the next page.
Can I just say though, I really love that panel on the right with everyone floating away from
Oh, man,
Semla.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
such a good drawing.
Yeah.
Very,
It's
very,
just like-
very symbolic.
Yeah, of all the imagery that is there, and like thinking about what this actually is that she's imagining. It's I don't know. It's hard to describe how that makes you feel. It's very weird.
It reminds
maybe
me.
she's dying too.
Oh God.
She has diabetes. It's the last straw.
To be
was
fair, she
poison.
should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, finish us.
Yeah. So, Big Mom is still kind of in her own little world now. Much like her introduction, the entirety of Totoland is alive and singing along and marching along with her. It actually made me wonder now if all that in the beginning was nothing more than a food-induced hallucination, just because of the fact that we know where she is right now. It's definitely doesn't look like any of that.
Yeah.
She's created this little world for herself, and as she's in her own little world and burping and licking her lips, it appears that the Shantae has it appears that the Shantae has hit the Sunny with a cannon.
Yep.
And the only thing that we see are smoldering ship wreckage and a floating straw hat flag in the ocean.
Mm.
So I
So-
guess that's the end of One Piece.
Yep, we're done.
Pack it up, boys.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah. Was it chapter 513? I haven't felt like that since,
Episode
since
513.
Man,
No, it was what the Sabati arc is what I was thinking of, right?
the Shabandi, yeah. Or,
Episode chapter
what-
513.
What could possibly happen
Wait,
next?
is that so? That was that really chapter 513? Because this is podcast episode 513. So
Oh, I don't.
that would be
Well, that
weird.
that was the end of the. I don't know if that was the actual chapter, but that's the last one. In
I mean, not to undercut what's going on here, but Alex, the island. Wow, I am.
Yeah.
Look, we all have our time in our life where we go through this. The island where Big Mom is on kind of does look somewhat similar to Fluffy Island, only because I kind of remember that like kind of like rugula looking cake and some of those
Yeah, yeah,
cupcakes on it, and the hills in the background.
Yeah, but
I
this
mean,
is-
obviously, it wasn't all homified like this. Although Prometheus looks back to normal, like all that kind of stuff. There's a lot. Wow, there's like, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Oh my God, you guys! If you
Pudding.
subtract 490 from 513, it's the number 23.
Oh my God! No,
It's a prime number.
you know what, Steven, you don't know what happens in the next chapter, right?
No, I don't.
So-
Yeah, we're off next week, so I have your guess is as good as mine.
So I want to first hear your initial thoughts, translating this chapter, kind of your experience putting this chapter together. Not, as an artist, but as a translator.
Yeah, so I my God, I'm trying to remember now because yeah, it was a while ago that I did work on this. Uh, I think I was a bit in a daze, and I don't know if I don't necessarily want to go too heavy into like my overall thoughts on the chapter first, but like once I kind of saw like, oh, okay, there's this this song and dance number here going on, and I kind of realized like, okay, I really need to do this up into like a full proper rhyming site, and I think I can do this. And then realize like, oh man, this is like several pages. This is like half of the chapter is like this, and I think I ended up spending about like 60%, maybe 2/3 of the overall time just kind of getting the song right. And there was a lot of like kind of going back and forth. Like I would start with like the pet cemetery or the big ceremony, and then kind of try to work the rhymes in backwards from there, since that was obviously like the important imagery to go off of. And just kind of doing lots of thesaurus and rhyming dictionary stuff until I got everything right. And like that part was super fun. It can be hard. Fortunately for me, I think it all kind of worked out. Like I didn't maybe not all of the rhythm stuff is perfect. Like in an ideal world, I think I would have gotten them all to be the exact same rhythm, but it's kind of a miracle just to be able to essentially recreate like the actual content of what the song was, while also turning it into a rhyming thing. Like that's often really, really hard. So yeah, I was super excited to see the reactions to this when the issue came out, because I knew I really knocked it out of the park on this one, and you don't always get the chance to do that. So it was really fun to flex my muscles, so to speak. Yeah, I kind of felt like my actual reaction to the content of the chapter itself was a bit like belated. It came in on a delay because I like had to finish the whole thing first before I could really take it in and try to process what this means.
So
like at what point in this in this like did it sort of hit you like, oh, the ship is destroyed kind of?
I don't know. See, so I'm not really necessarily positive that the ship is actually destroyed. Something definitely happened to it because the Jolly Roger is floating on the ocean floor and it's all torn up and stuff. But I don't, I'm not necessarily assuming anything. And yeah, there's a ship that blows up and it kind of looks like the Sunny, but this could be some sleight of hand stuff going on, or it might not. I don't know. Yeah, I was a little bit skeptical.
I mean, it really looks like the Sunny, and
yeah,
it's definitely sinking wreckage in the following panel. And I'm like, what kind of sleight of hand can Oda pull here? It's I feel like he's really literally painting himself into.
Unless none of this actually happened.
I think the sleight of hand is that on the previous spread that we clearly see the Big Mom's ship approaching the Sunny.
Yes.
And then on the next page, we see a ship that's hard to make out exploding.
Right.
And you're putting two and two together that you're seeing the Sunny exploding, but like that could possibly be some trickery or something.
There's also what I said to Luffy, that the panel of Luffy pointing at something, and the straightforward interpretation would be, oh, he's pointing at Big Mom's ship. Which is like right in their face, or it could be like, what is Luffy looking at? Like, what does he see? Is this going to be like, the
thing that saves them?
Right,
well,
the Neptune.
Yeah.
Like, are the Neptunians there? Are they popping up out of the water? Yeah, is Pedro, is Pound, whoever is coming to save the day? Is that what Luffy's looking at?
The one thing I'm looking at here is Jinbei, who is turning the wheel to port, avoiding something clearly.
Also, Sanji's nowhere to be found in that panel.
Mm-hmm.
Curious.
There's and Carrot too. But they were both up fighting Genie Weenie, as we may recall, in the last chapter. So they might be at the what do you call it? The crow's nest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Steven, I'll ask one more question, then we'll go around to the group. I mean, where do you see things then going from here?
My hunch is that we're probably going to smash cut to the Reverie. And I feel like either we're going to find out something that happened while we're at the Reverie, or the River is going to be like, oh, Big Morgan shows up and says like, oh, Straw Hat's raising hell in Big Mom's territory, or he blew up with the tomate box, or this or that, and then we still won't find out until after that.
That is a bold prediction.
Yeah, but it's great.
I mean,
well, then hopefully the first thing they discuss is what happened to the Revolutionary Army, because I'm still pissed about that. That was like 3 years ago.
Okay, so now the last question, Stephen, and then I'm going to go around.
Okay.
What did you think of this chapter?
Oh boy. Okay. Well, yeah. I guess I at least in terms of I think in comparison to how it seemed like everyone else was taking the chapter, I was actually a bit mixed on it. I think that. For shock value, it's definitely way up there. It's one of those chapters that you're gonna look back on and remember as like, oh my god, this crazy. It's like, at least as far as this arc goes, it's right next to the Big Mom's flashback, and the shock of that. And I don't know. Like I guess. Under the assumption, I could be completely proven wrong next week, and I would be happy to be proven wrong.
2 weeks,
but yeah, 2 weeks. Under the assumption that the next chapter is going to cut away from this, that we're going to be left hanging. This is a true cliffhanger. We're not going to find out what has truly happened to the Straw Hats for a little while yet, and that this is kind of. The wrap up of this, or not the wrap up, but the climax of this arc, and we're not going to see a bunch of further resolution. That I kind of felt like, I don't know. I guess because I don't think that the Straw Hats are all dead. Obviously, I don't. We joke about it, but the series will go on, and there's going to be some answer, and most likely. It's going to turn out to be a much more benign answer than your worst fears would suggest. Like they got out of it somehow. Maybe the ship is damaged. Maybe it's even busted. Although I highly doubt that. But I feel like there's going to be a big sigh of relief eventually when we see how the Straw Hats actually fared out of this. And because of that, I feel like in retrospect, this kind of shock, this cliffhanger ending. Is going to lose a lot of that shock value, because once you know what happened, then sure, the way you felt when you first saw it will always be there, but you won't you'll know, okay, well, they're actually fine. And kind of what I was disappointed by was the fact that we didn't get we didn't get a true heroic moment against Big Mom. We didn't get Sanji stuffing the cake into Big Mom's face. It was very kind of unceremonious how Abedge just kind of dumped the cake on the beach, and then she did her own thing, and it was cool to see her her reaction to it. I did like that. I love the the shoujo face that she has. That stuff was great, but I feel like it wasn't it wasn't like the the ringing the bell in Skypiea, or blowing Crocodile up through the roof and through the ground into the air. Type of singular exciting moment, and I was kind of waiting for something more like that to make me feel like this a lot of the the backstory, the storytelling reasons that he might have told this story, or Oda might have told this story about Sanji and all that stuff might have been paid off better. And I'm not sure that I really got that necessarily. But again, I have no idea, what the actual resolution of this is going to be. So maybe I'm, just completely, maybe he's fooled me here. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it was kind of wow, that was really shocking. And then well, I don't know. I was hoping to see some other stuff happen instead. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Jill. What were your thoughts on this chapter?
Yeah, so I really liked all the Big Mom stuff. Her reaction was great. That instant change from hunger badness to just sweet hallucinations, basically, and the taste of bliss and all that. It's really exciting. And we can also see that she's kind of she could be at her happiest moments, so she's still pretty evil, because she's just haha, pet cemetery in my stomach or something like that, and just I don't know, and like the whole like and dangerous thing is interesting to me, so I'm sure we'll see where that goes. As for the ending, I'm kind of with Steven on that. I don't like cliffhangers for the sake of cliffhangers when you know they're not gonna have like a payoff. If it's a character other than a Straw Hat where theoretically they could die, it doesn't usually happen, but it could happen. I
Pedro
would
and
say that
Pound.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's no one with a P name dies, Zach. Um, I could see it having like a better cliffhanger, but when it's the Straw Hats, it's like, okay, so either it's not their ship, it's a hallucination, they turned away, something,
Pudding is
false
doing
memory.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't really like, I'm not like, oh no, what's gonna happen? It's just, I don't even think the Sunny's gone. It's, I don't know. I don't like cliffhangers like that where there's not really gonna be a payoff.
Ed, you keep mentioning pudding, and it. But
I think Ed has a theory.
Yeah, Ed, do you want to say your theory?
Yeah, take the tinfoil off your head first, though.
Yeah.
No, because there are actually no rules to basically how her powers work. So I just say her powers get us out of it.
Okay. But if you want to put the tinfoil back on your head, she worked on the cake. She has memory powers. Therefore, ... Make your inference there.
Yeah.
Jill, did you have any other?
And I've been saying this for weeks, but if we get out of this arc without her using her powers one more time, I will eat my hat.
Which hat?
Yeah,
I
was
will
gonna
eat part
say.
of the shoe.
Which shoe?
I don't know, brown leather.
Okay, cool.
Well, we can cook it. Good idea.
Yeah, I would do that. Hobo stew. Jill, did you have anything? Did you have anything else you wanted to?
Not really. I agree with Ed though. If we don't see Pudding's power be used another way, what's the point? There's just like, a one-time gimmick that Oda had to throw in. Come on.
Joey.
Okay, so the thing I'm personally really reeling from this chapter that Steven started to touch on is actually the very beginning. Like, I am shocked that we didn't see Big Mom's first bite of this cake. Like, am I not remembering the end of a chapter a couple weeks ago or something? Because, like, it's crazy.
I mean, I guess you could interpret the very first panel with the big chomp sound effect as being the first one.
Yeah. Also, we're only seeing it from Chiffon's point of view.
I thought
really,
I missed a chapter.
It just feels like we're in the middle of her eating it, and it's just like very unceremonious, kind of the way Stephen was saying, and
Garfield-esque.
Yeah, let me just say, as someone who eats very fast, sometimes things don't hit you immediately when you eat really fast. So, like, she has her first reaction not when she starts chewing it, but when she swallows it.
I say this as a heavy person. Sometimes when you stuff a bunch of food in your mouth, you take a few bites before you really taste it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And Big Mom, yeah.
I just think that we've been leading up to her eating this cake, and to not kind of have that moment be, I don't know. I just thought it felt like I had missed something. The fact that we started in the middle of her eating the cake, I was kind of like, oh, she's already eating the cake. Okay. I don't know. It just felt like a very strange decision to me. And I think part of that is because it didn't end up kind of having that sort of, I don't know, big climax moment.
Yeah. It wasn't a well choreographed like sequence of events that ended up with some dramatic the cake falling into her mouth, or something where he clearly put a lot of work into setting up an elaborate situation. It was sort of like, here's the cake, there she is, she got it.
Is there? I just want to. Sorry, go ahead, Joey.
What I said on Twitter is I found it very disorienting, and I don't necessarily think that that's bad. Like, I'm not necessarily saying like Oda fucked up, I'm just saying that like it really, really shocked me, and it kind of like put me already kind of on my ass at the beginning of the chapter, being kind of scrambling to be like, whoa, what's going on here? And then it really kind of continues throughout the whole thing with like trying to sort of both read this crazy song and see our heroes being decimated, and then the kind of like big cliffhanger at the end, it was a very like sort of unsettling, disorienting chapter for me.
I think it was supposed
which I
to
think
be.
is effective. Yeah. I'm not necessarily saying this is like, just because something's a negative word doesn't mean it's a critique. You know what I mean? I just was very like, it was a weird experience kind of reading this, and I think it's very effective. I am also kind of in the camp that like, as it stands now, I'm feeling the shocked feelings of seeing the Sunny exploded and being kind of like, what could this mean? How much damage maybe has it actually taken? Things like that. But like, I have full confidence that our heroes aren't dead, and it seems kind of weird for this to be the moment that the Sunny is destroyed. So I don't really think that it is, but like, but I did feel the feelings Oda wanted me to feel, I think, when I saw it.
Right.
I have a question that I want to pose to people, and
Which
maybe this
people?
is wrong. Anyone, but actually, this sort of starts off with the translation question, Stephen. How do we translate the title? Is that in like a kana, or is it written in kanji?
It was written in English.
I knew it.
That
God
and-
damn, I knew it. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is possibly like a reference to, or not a reference, but like, yeah, I was just thinking of this thing of like where this is just one of many possible endings, and the next chapter is like, the movie Clue. Well, that's one of it.
The next one is when she has the flames on the side of her face, and
which is why I was thinking of that. Actually, we might have talked about this off air, but the nice boat meme, because that was from an anime adaptation of a dating sim where the character gets killed for being a scumbag. But basically, that's the bad ending. That's the
right.
And like that, and that implies there's another ending that we're not seeing.
That's interesting.
That's my favorite theory so far. Alex, thoughts?
Wow, yeah. This was such a drug trip. I love that the entirety of it was basically this weird musical number. I feel like it's weird because we were just talking about the anime this week and how they have a weird musical number in that too. I just can't get over the fact that the panel zooms into her mouth and there's this pet cemetery. Like, I can't wait to see this animated. Like, God, sorry, these are just free floating thoughts. I thought it was like it's unlike any other One Piece chapter. It's so weird. Joey hit it on the head when he said it's kind of disorienting. I agree. So I love this chapter. I thought it was great. I thought the ending was the ending was surprising. And I thought to myself, well, there's no way the Sunny is dead. Like, Mary, like, the way, like, this manga, this series knows how to send off a ship, and that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the biggest indicator, of course, that the Straw Hats are alive. Maybe I hate to suggest that maybe Law saved them by rooming them elsewhere,
Or submarining them.
Yeah, but Ed's theory about putting using her powers, I feel like as much as I want this to be the end of the arc and for them to just smash cut to the Reverie, which I don't know, I kind of love that, Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that possibility, because then you're just like, oh no, what's going to happen to the Straw Hats? And then they kind of make their grand appearance in Wano.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the Reverie, who knows? I hope not. But I think I like that as an idea. But Ed's theory about like this being the bad ending and then the good ending being something different, I also like that too, because we get to have a little more answered. I'm particularly curious about the about Pudding and her flashbacks with Lola, and what happened with the giants, and Brooke's weird comment about Smoothie. Maybe she's a giant. There's still a lot left thread wise with Big Mom that we haven't really closed. Part of me really likes the way this ended also, though, because it's different. There doesn't, just like in life, nothing, it doesn't need to be wrapped up, all neatly. And also with this particular ending, Big Mom has what she wanted. She has the wedding cake and Germa. And what could that mean for the future? Like she's unstoppable. Like with Germa's technology.
And also, where do you think she's gonna go after this? I think she goes straight down to Fishman Island and mess that thing up.
Oh God, and that would end the prophecy would come true, right?
I think so. And also it messed the Reverie too, because that's where the Fishmen are going.
Let's take it back a bit. Ed, okay. Or Alex, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I think most of the stuff that I added, I guess I should add that the art in this chapter is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like all the way through.
It's the new glasses, chapter. Guys.
Yeah.
The entire chapter. I feel like it doesn't seem, I don't think like an entire chapter of One Piece has been this like gorgeous in a long, long time. I could be wrong, but I keep marveling at every single panel, and it's just so great to look at. And I mentioned this during our reading, but the chapter of the Sun Pirates squaring off against the Charlottes, I would want to see 1,000 more panels like that. You get so much like tone. You could like practically smell the gunpowder and the seawater in that panel. God, and the way everything is laid out is really great too. It's like Joey said, it's really disorienting, and I think that really adds to like how chaotic it is towards the end. It's sort of like it's very cinematic, very much like when we talked about when Bedge had Peckhams on the cliff. Do you remember? And the panels kept like zooming in on like the gun, Peckham's face, Pez, Bedge, and just it kept switching panels to each of their faces until the bang. That's what this was. It was just look at all this shit that's happening around you and then bang. Like I don't know. I thought that the way the chapter read is very effective, and regardless of what happens, whether or not this is, I mean, obviously it's a red herring, but whether or not in like 2 years, I feel differently about, the events that have occurred afterwards. I don't think I'll forget reading this chapter. So that's it for me.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy this chapter. Like I haven't been like this shocked at a One Piece chapter, maybe in the entire, in the entire New World, ever since the time skip. But yeah, I upon second reading though, I started to get a little angry and then get a little bit of theories going. And but I still love the style of it. As Alex was saying, the art is tremendously laid out, and just this whole musical number that Big Mom goes into. But also, I want to mention something actually that Sam, our Anime Recap host, mentioned on Twitter of like, of course this is the bad ending. Like when we give Big Mom the cake and she doesn't learn anything, this is just enforcing her behavior. Big Mom will never change this way. She's always just going to be horrible. Straw Hats
Can't teach an old bitch new tricks.
Wow.
Straw Hats are just enabling her at this point. Actually giving her the cake. They should just poison it.
Capone was right. That's the title. Capone
Where's
was
that
right.
T-shirt?
The last one. Let's see. Oh man, just all the Big Mom face, that shoujo face of like, man, that's a woman who got everything that she wanted and screw everyone else. Like, and she's gonna have to like. I think she was close to self-awareness there, of like, maybe I did eat those kids. Maybe I'm just interpreting that of like, but as everyone's flying up to heaven, I'm like, okay, can you not see that you've killed them? Like, but other than that, it's just the shock of this, like the way everyone was acting, like in the background, especially Perospero, and I mentioned Montdork a couple of times. It just looks great, and that the drama in that last panel of like the series of panels of Luffy. It ends with him pointing at where we think the cannon is coming from. That that was like an oh shit moment for me. That was really surprising, and it might get undone, by some conspiracy theory, but we'll always have that, even if it doesn't always last.
So I hope you guys could make it through my voice, because I have a bunch of stuff I want to say about this chapter. I last week I said I was feeling a little bit of fatigue about Whole Cake Island, and I take that back tenfold. This was a really, really, what a whirlwind chapter. I mean, this is there's something.
Food for thought.
Was that a pun?
No, well, actually, kind of, but like this is a very thought-provoking chapter.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. There's something that like the best pieces of fiction are able to do to me, and that's when they drag you kind of down into a really depressing place. For those who don't know, I recently, and by recently I mean like 2 years ago, read all of Harry Potter in a row. And there's something about those last, I guess, 3 books where things are kind of going really, really badly, and it takes you into like a place of despair, but makes you far more invested in the characters and far more invested in the story. And I'm really feeling that in this chapter. So while it is certainly, I think the most exemplary panel of it, and it sounds weird to say, is totally Montour doing that stupid little dance on page 1819. I'm like, oh, this just like hurts to look at. Like I don't want Montour. So every time Montour was angry in this arc, I was happier. Same with Perospero. And seeing them in a happy place, kind of, brought things down. Now when I entered this chapter and entered this recap, I really had no idea where things are going, which is, I know what Oda is best at and most trying to do. Oda, we've had Greg on this podcast a lot, and Greg has said Oda's favorite thing to do is to make you think something's about to happen and pull the rug out under you and make you like, now what the hell is supposed to happen? And this chapter is so that. But we're all pretty smart people here. And I think we all came up with some pretty damn good theories this week. And my favorite, and I know, Ed, your ego is large to begin with, but Ed's,
Oh boy.
Ed's theory is my favorite, of kind of the clue thing. But the problem with it is that One Piece doesn't usually have an unreliable narrator. One Piece, we start.
But I feel like that's the point of Pudding's character, though, is to create that.
There's a difference between an unreliable narrator and a character able to change the narrative, if that makes any sense. I know they kind of run into each other.
It's like, aside from the one time when we actually found out what her power was, like, it's always been the threat of an unreliable narrator, but he's never actually done anything with that before. And maybe this is it, but like it's, it would kind of run counter to everything that he's been doing. Exactly.
And the thing is, we start with an Oda box. And I know that sounds stupid, but it's where we start this chapter, and I know it's disorienting. Joey is correct that it is a disorienting place to start, but we're starting in a reliable place as far as we know. Because if there's one thing I think I could trust in this series, it's Oda boxes. I know it sounds weird, but that is the narrator saying, this is where we are, this is what's happening. Big Mom's forces, Fluffy Island. From there, obviously, we end this chapter in a very unreliable spot. We have Big Mom and all the orphans she ate floating up to heaven. That is definitely not happening. So it puts me in a place like, we don't have any gray tone behind it. There's no black, to indicate we're in a different time.
That's true.
But we're clearly going in and out of Big Mom's consciousness. We're going in and out of perhaps what's literally happening in her stomach. We don't know. and that is just so freaking awesome. And it's confounding as a reader, and seeing, my God, that last panel with the One Piece will be off next week is the most trolling thing on the face of trolldom. Donald J. Trump couldn't have wrote that himself. It's just so, just like punch in the gut kind of thing. But it's perfect, and it's so Oda, and it's so One Piece. And I got chills listening to Steven, read through that song this week, because of the despair. And I'll end here and say what Ed said, the bad, kind of this being the bad situation. The reason I feel like it has to be that is because things work out way too well for Big Mom here. And there's one thing we know. The Straw Hats are going to survive this. Luffy's going to become the king of the pirates. Those are two things we know, no matter what, are going to happen at the end of this series. So with that in mind, the best case scenario can happen for Big Mom. It just can't. So when you guys are going like, oh, she's going to go to Fishman Island next, and this is going to happen next, and that, I am ruling that out. I am 100% certain that cannot happen.
Will you eat a shoe if you're wrong?
I will eat a sneaker, which has been in way worse places than that. If she goes back to Fishman Island and wrecks up the place, I don't think that's happening.
I would definitely say, as far as kind of like I was saying, bookending this with another song, I think it's kind of like it's the same Big Mom that we've seen since the start of the arc. And just in terms of like the sort of mind-bending ways that we're like literally kind of seeing what she's thinking, and this weird sort of stream of consciousness stuff. But I really felt like, especially in this kind of pivotal moment, that it really just underlined for me like what a fantastic villain she is. Like she's definitely been the best, one of the best One Piece villains in many, many arcs, in my opinion. And while I may have some gripes about how this series of events came about, I still think that as a character, she's just fantastic. I've loved watching her. I hope it's just like, kind of for selfish reasons, it's like I just love seeing Big Mom doing her stuff. She's like a force of nature, and so in that sense, I would be kind of sad if we do just immediately leave and then don't see her again for a long time, because she just kind of steals the scene.
And there's one more thing, I'm sorry, I wanted to add. The unreliable narrator portion. There's one other time Big Mom has been an incredibly unreliable narrator, and that is last time she ate something so wonderful. It mentioned in this chapter that she accidentally ate a bunch of orphans and didn't realize it. So the only problem I have, again, apologies that I sound like an adolescent teenager this week. The only problem I have is that a lot of what's going on with the Straw Hats seems to have nothing to do with what's happening with Big Mom. And that's where I'm like, how do you square this circle? I don't know. Any final thoughts? Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yes, I apologize to Charlotte Oven.
For what?
For what?
For saying he was incredibly ineffectual like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no, yeah. Oven is I'm loving Oven. I'm happy.
I'm loving Oven.
Okay, let's end it there. Let's go to the next segment.
Okay.
This is the anime recap for episode 830. The family gets together. The hellish tea party starts. I'm your host, Sam, and today with me we have Ed.
Hi.
And joining us today we also have host of the podcast, Alex.
Hi.
And also on top of that, we have animation director for Rick and Morty and Teen Titans Go, right? Brian Newton?
Sure.
I don't know if that's your job on both shows or...
No, my job is director. I've never corrected Zach about that. That's fine.
All right. The title card this week begins at 3 minutes and 22 seconds. We've been opening pretty tight lately. Feels good. The opening scene is Sanji on his way to meet with Pudding as they're like getting ready for the wedding to start. He's just remembering like just how evil she is and her evil plan and how dastardly she is. Right up until he opens the door, he sees her in her wedding dress, and he's like, "Shit." She's.
I remember that bit in the manga too. That was
It's actually a little different in the manga, because in the manga they're both sitting together, kind of waiting for the ceremony to start.
I think that happens.
There wasn't this moment where he walks in.
I think we'll see some of that next week.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so she's in her wedding dress. She's putting on the charms. As far as she knows, he doesn't know anything. So she's just playing cute right now. We come to a scene where Germa is arriving at the tea party. We get the big like talking door with the woman's face on it, the homie door. Germa arrives. Capone is demanding that they leave all their weapons and knives and such at the door. The kids don't seem to like that, but Judge is just like, just deal with it. And we got a really creepy
Why do they only
veto.
have one? Why do they only have one weapon?
Right. Well, they have their guns and they have their
The raids.
raid suits. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And we've got like Vito like being very creepy as he's meeting Ichiji in person.
He gets to touch his
wasn't he, like-
heroes.
Yeah, he was straight up copying a feel.
They agreed to a pat down specifically, so.
That's exactly what copying a feel means originally.
That's what the TSA says, Sam.
Nietzsche tries punching at Bedge, but Judge stops him. We zoom into the inside of Bedge's chest, where the Straw Hats are hanging out at the diner table. Everyone's kind of going over the plan on a little map, but Luffy he's very excited. He's running around with a bug catching net. He has an idea. His eyes are all sparkly. He's like, "All right, guys, just gonna step out for a second here," and we have no idea what he's about.
But if they're inside of Capone, Luffy wants to run off somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
where does Capone sneak off to let him go?
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those things where they're. I mean, I like the scenes just fine, but it's like they're creating some.
They do explain this, but it might be a spoiler.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
gotcha.
It is explained.
And so, kind of the big show-stopping scene of the episode begins. It's new musical.
You mean the rest
sequence.
of the episode?
Well, this
Yeah.
this brings us to like the first half of the episode, more or less, which is
Yeah,
this
that's
big
true.
musical number. The song starts. We see, everyone's singing. We're seeing like Big Mom, like silhouettes of Big Mom eating cake, and there's a moment where we go into the eye and there's like these flowers swirling within her eye, and it really bugged me that like one of the flowers for some reason has teeth, but the other ones don't. I think it's so you can like keep track of the spinning better or something.
Maybe.
There's a Porks wagon is on the scene. It's running. The hills and everything are singing about wondering if the Porks wagon's gonna make it in time. And the wagon is bringing Big Mom's prestigious guests. They roll out one at a time. The musical kind of dies down, and it's now just kind of an instrumental piano. We meet the Lone Shark King, God of Fortune, Dufeld. We meet the Queen of the Pleasure District, Stussy. Major Undertaker, Drug Peclo. The President of the World Economic Journal, Big News Morgans. And we've heard
The best character.
Yeah, we've heard the
Big
words
News.
World Economic Journal before.
The beginning of this arc. Yeah, that's where Sora and the whatever is syndicated as a comic strip.
Right. The warehouse kingpin, Gibberson the Hider. And I guess I never really thought about it too hard, but I guess the implication is he makes a profession in hiding dead bodies.
Oh,
I thought he was like a banker.
I
No.
I was under the assumption that he was just like a black market arms dealer kind of thing, like underground storage.
Right.
Yeah, I
Said he
I
is
think like
Jim
so.
from the office.
Yeah, I guess. The shipping king, Deep Sea Currents Umit. And then the song returns as the musical transitions into the banter between these people as they're kind of walking to the door is
like musical theater. This is just I'm singing what I'm doing. I'm saying hello, and we're all singing.
it's kind of operatic in that sense. Where
Little
it's
Les Miserables.
They're
A
just
little bit.
singing. It's not necessarily.
It's different, and I appreciate that.
It's not necessarily to like a very defined melody, but like they're singing their lines. They're stepping on each other's toes. They're calling each other names.
I think this might be a first for One Piece because like Big Mom's singing, like characters have sung before and there've been dance numbers like at Thriller Bark, but like this is the first time there's been like characters who aren't. It's not like they rehearsed this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, how did they all know to react to the candy thing?
Yeah, I actually had to go to the manga, and I didn't realize that they were singing in the manga version where there's little musical notes and stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, at first I thought they just like adapted it and like, oh, now this conversation's a song now. And I really like Sparrow's moment here, where he's like welcoming them. He's being kind of posh. It's weird to hear him sing. He doesn't look like the singing type, but he's getting into it. He's creating his candy escalator. I really like how everything looks. I feel like this is such a nice looking episode. Big News Morgans mentions that the wedding will be, quote unquote, big news, and that Germa and the World Economic Journal go way back. And then that brings us to the eye catch of the episode. When we come back, the guests are kind of getting situated at the tea party. They're sitting down. We're meeting Smoothie, who has some options for drinks.
Yeah, I remember this being a lot more impactful in the manga.
I thought it was so funny and creepy here. Like
it's creepier. It's creepier here, but like it wasn't as shocking. Like, I know what's gonna happen I know what happens at the tea party, but I remember the first time I saw her squeezing the giraffe out.
Yeah, she's got.
Well, now we have to get to hear what that odd voiced giraffe sounds like.
Yeah, so at this party, the guests have options for what they want to drink. Do they want to drink juice from this molten rock from a specific mountain? Do they want to drink from this woman who has stabbed 1,000 men, probably from Dressrosa? Or do they want to drink this weird sounding giraffe?
Yeah,
and both Morgans and Stussy are like, one giraffe, please.
One giraffe, please.
I also like to point out that later in the episode, Niji is actually drinking the molten drink.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So we come back to the door where Capone is at playing security. A man named Jigra arrives and he's trying to start a scene. He's talking about how he had to step out on a tea party, on a previous tea party, and obviously Big Mom was upset with this, and because his mother died, and so he's about to say, oh, and then because I had to step out of the wedding or step out of the tea party for that reason, then I got my hospitalized father's ... And then bam, he takes the jelly bean to the forehead. The bloody jelly bean is kind of ricocheting off of him. There's a hole in his head now. He falls. Capone looks up, and the person who flicked the jelly bean was none other than Charlotte Katakuri, one of the Sweet Three generals, second son of Charlotte, bounty 1,057,000,000. So Katakuri is explaining that what he saw through his observation hockey was that man was about to say that he got his own father's head in a box because he dared to not go to he dared not accept Big Mama's invitation one time.
I think what he meant to say was his next line is it's Joseph Joestar. Like,
yeah,
right, yeah.
I have to.
It's the voice of Joseph. It's the voice of Joseph Joestar as well.
I have to comment on it.
Yeah. And there's this kind of weird moment where in the subtitles, I think Toei has to provide the subtitles because it's the same. I haven't checked the Funimation version, but I'm sure it's the same. But like instead of Rook Bedge, Capone calls Katakuri calls Capone Luke Bedge.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the Rook thing. I was like, Luke Bedge, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was confused by that too.
Sideshow Luke Bedge. What do you think?
And he's telling Capone, "Oh, your next line is going to be, I see. All right then." And Capone is thinking to himself, "Okay, this is the worst. This is one of our biggest hurdles with this wedding. This guy who can see a little into the future because he trained his observation hockey so much. I feel like he should have brought that up to the Straw Hats at one point."
It's unclear how long they've been working for Big Mom at this point.
And then on the scene arrives a 100 attackers this organ dealing assassination group who works for Jigra, the guy who Katakuri just shot in the forehead with a jelly bean. So this is like a kind of an extended filler moment where in the manga it was just Jigra, but in the anime it's like, oh, Jigra and his whole crew of assassins or whatever.
This part is insane.
These guys got some pretty interesting looks.
It's totally insane.
When he got the invitation to the tea party, it was like plus 100.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to point out specifically in the design of these characters. I don't know if Toei has done this in the past, but like in certain American animation companies, like Deke, for example, who produced like Inspector Gadget back in the day, and like several other like really cheap cartoon shows. Oftentimes, productions will use designs from other productions and put them in new productions. And like if they'll notice, like other people won't notice because you'd have to watch like their entire pantheon to really catch it. And a lot of these character designs look like they belonged in other anime shows or other shows in general.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Like they do feel like One Piece filler characters. They also feel a little bit like maybe these would have been designs you'd see Oda use like years ago.
In a movie?
Or in a movie. But yeah, you got
some of them don't even really feel like Oda characters. I'm like, well, that head's too small.
Yeah, the muscle guy is like that's
Toguro. That's Toguro from
totally. Yeah. It might be Totoro characters. Or,
no,
Yu
Yu Hakusho. No. I'm talking about Toguro from Yu Yu Hakusho. Is exactly.
Oh, right.
You got the guy with like the little bow tie in his beard and he's chewing bubble gum. Like he has like an almost baby look to him. Like he looks like a senior pink light.
There's the Wolfman from Darkstalkers.
Yeah. So Oven and Daifuku show up as well. We've gotten a glimpse of all three of these brothers in the lead up to this moment in like little filler segments. But now we're seeing them for the first time in action. We don't actually get a good glimpse of
we've already seen the first time we see their powers in the manga though. We don't see their powers until much later in the manga, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
The one whose power is the most obvious still is Oven, where he's using like heat powers and he's like stepping on a dude's chest and like melting his chest.
God.
So yeah, these brothers just completely wipe the floor with this army.
I loved this scene, by the way. Like what I thought that like normally I kind of shy away from what we call implied filler here on the podcast, but this was super cool. You got to see Daifuku and Oven do stuff before they actually make their appearances in the manga. Mm-hmm. And the designs for these characters is fucking bonkers. these clown mask motherfuckers, like, and the animation is the animation also looks like it looks cheap on purpose. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense.
Well, it looks economic, but it looks good. Like it looks
very much.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think that normally, like I would be kind of whatever on a filler moment like this. But like I think in the manga, like Oven and Daifuku's introductions are a little abrupt as they are, and I think that this does not hurt.
Well, yeah, it's definitely good for the anime audience. Definitely, they've been introduced. The ground has been opened up for them, basically,
and the doors.
Yeah,
right.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we see Luffy in the seducing woods chasing some animals. He's still very excited about whatever his plan is. His eyes are sparkling. We see some monkeys like on a branch, but then the branch breaks, and I don't know. Like there's something weirdly charming about basically every scene in this episode.
I believe this scene is also filler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
then the final scene of the episode is Mama arriving. We're getting the basic melody of her introduction song from months ago now. And there's, even though like the location has changed, they're clearly like reusing some animation from her original musical scene. But like it's like after such a great looking episode, it's hard to complain about that. But
she enters completely backlit, like shining and whatnot.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
The tea party begins. Mama's waving her arms like, "Enjoy yourselves, everybody." Get shots of everybody. That's basically how the episode concludes. Yes,
Sam.
Yes.
She waves her arms like she just doesn't care.
Yeah, of course.
Any general thoughts on the episode, you guys?
It's crazy. Like, yeah, this one was a lot of fun, even with all the filler that was in it.
Mhm.
I'll let the people who aren't on the show who aren't on this segment talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought speaking of filler, there's the whole gang versus Gurma sequence. I thought that was actually pretty intense.
Mm.
Even though I know ultimately was going to happen, and I'm glad that that scene was in there. I thought a lot of it was kind of like, even though they're clearly stretching out the episode, I thought a lot of it was necessary to answer a lot of the gaps that we got when the Tea Party happened in the manga, which was nice.
Mhm. Alex?
Yeah. Wow. I was really impressed by the episode. Like the musical number, like I'm giving them credit because they did it. Like I don't think it was particularly like incredible, but it was just so wacky. Like it was so insane that I couldn't help but be impressed that they did it. Like what a ballsy and weird thing. Like to have the underworld leaders sing their parts.
Yeah.
It was it was so weird. It's almost like Oda had fully intended for this arc to be like his Disney arc.
Yes.
And basically told the animation team, "Oh yes, make this Disney. Like, do it." And boy, let me tell you, really stepped up. The bit where Perospero creates the candy escalator, it's a few bars. And it's basically the melody for "When You Wish Upon a Star" from Pinocchio, just slightly different.
I thought
key.
the same thing too. Yeah, it's like this sounds real familiar. Oh, it's like it's Jimmy the Cricket song.
Yeah, and
it's like the wrestling entrance version theme, wrestling entrance theme version of it.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
legally distinct.
Yes, that and the filler bit that we talked about made this episode like definitely worth watching for me. I was kind of blown away by this episode. You can see me tweet about it if you go back a couple days.
Anything else anyone wants to say?
I think I just want to say when the Tea Party was starting, like the first scene we had in there, I think there was some music from Baratier, Sanji's, I think, first appearance.
Yeah, probably.
That violin music.
Oh yeah.
I've noticed on like past couple episodes we're hearing tracks we haven't heard in like decades now.
Oh, if
that track is used for like all-purpose, fancy time.
Yeah, isn't that like one of the first tracks in like episode 1?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love this episode from head to toe. Because like the last handful of weeks, I mean, last week's episode and this week's episode, like just the art quality, just they really ramped it up. You really get to kind of like soak in the details and the characters' faces. Like I just love looking at like Katakuri's face in this anime version.
Mm-hmm.
The musical sequence is great. I love. You're right. Like it's because this is the Disney arc. So it's like you really gotta go the extra mile to make that count, because that's such a great. There's so much opportunity for like something fun and whimsical and twisted and weird at the same time. All the ways in which that they expanded this episode with filler, I was totally with it. Did not I totally it improved the episode for me, as opposed to like just dragging things out. Like this felt like if the arc around it, if the episodes around episodes like this were not so painfully slow, I would not complain about this episode as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also I just want to say the seeing them both in this episode with Daifuku and Katakuri really does make me think that they are based off of Hamada and Matsumoto from Downtown. Like they look so much like those guys, those comedians. If anyone else knows what they look like, you could probably see it.
Is that it? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all set.
all right? I think we can move on to the next segment.
Greetings, everyone. It is I. My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
Sorry, it's been so long since I've been on. I've forgotten how to do this, but it's just life happens. Life finds a way of getting in the way.
That's
of being
true.
on this podcast.
That's true, Senor Goldblum. Now let me ask you a question. Did you read One Piece chapter 900?
Of course I did. I was eager. I was up early this morning and I was just waiting. I was just waiting for the Viz app to update. And then it was glitching out on my phone, so I had to wait till I got to work and read it on the computer.
All right, well, in that case, let's talk about it, Steve.
My first question,
Sure.
is this symbolic?
Is the chapter symbolic? Like, is this chapter symbolic of what's going on in our lives right now?
Yeah. Just a lot of dead animals inside. A lot of lost childhood innocence deep inside. Of course. Always.
Perhaps.
Forgot to talk about the color spread, though.
The color spread's great. It's so cute.
He really is addicted to Animal Crossing Pocket Camp right now.
Yeah,
isn't
he is. Yep.
It was a neat little one. It's not my favorite, but it was cute. It's nice to see the minks again.
Yeah. I was telling the guys that I'd read an entire series in this style.
Well, not necessarily. I forget what I think it's One Piece Party. That's not quite chibi, but
No.
Zoro also in his pre-time skip outfit. Just bring it back, man. Just bring it back. It's so much simpler.
Yeah, it's less to draw.
Yeah. That's a discussion for another day. But yeah, really cute. But totally juxtaposed with the content of this chapter for sure. Amazing panels. Mainly the Big Mom panels. You know, of course, there's the big shoujo one of her saying the cake was to die for.
Yeah.
Really expressive panels later on, some chapters in when she's eating more of it. Just very like her eyes, since like she has like the irises. Very she looked like a Disney character.
Oh man, yeah. This is echoing the manga recap a lot, by the way. We're kind of on the same page here. Yeah, very Disney. I thought the art in this chapter was just front to back amazing.
Oda's, I think he's pacing himself a lot more now, because I think the artwork has been consistent this entire arc. I think Dressrosa, you could tell he was getting really scribbly, squiggle vision. You know, Dr. Katz, I'm surprised never made a cameo in Dressrosa, but I think he has a lot more time here, and just a lot of, not only like just do the drawings look good, but he's had a lot of really great page layouts here that I don't think he really had in sorry, God, always ragging on Dressrosa. I'm just saying, like, it's been a while, and I think it's fair to compare it because it was the previous arc. Yeah. But I think he's really pushed himself throughout all of this Whole Cake Island arc, and it's great. But should we just get right into it when it gets really weird?
Sure, go.
At first, I wasn't like I think the key here is don't take this literally, and I think I was doing that at first, and then I had to stop myself. I'm like, it's like, no, this isn't actually happening. She doesn't have a forest inside her with dead puppies.
No, it's like a villain song in a Disney movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's right. For Flash, and it's a musical number, you know. It's the bad end musical.
Yeah, it's the bad ending of a video game.
You're dead.
But yeah, it just gets really freaking weird. I almost thought, I'm like, oh God, are we gonna see Mother Carmel just like inside her? It's like,
oh God,
feed me! I was kind of prepping myself for that, but
no,
that
I think
wasn't the case.
I think the graveyard is just basically to it's because the Pet Cemetery lyric is right there, so it's like, yes, here's some dead puppies.
I never quite. It's like this might be the first of hearing something described as pet flavor cemetery.
Yeah.
Don't go making food in the pet cemetery.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go there. That's haunted.
You want to go inside Big Mom's mouth. There's a Pet Flavor Cemetery. Sounds
Oh.
delicious, but tastes like the dead.
Yeah, so Germa's getting their butts kicked.
Germa's getting shot up by these must be the same bullets that Pudding shot Reiju with.
Yeah, but they're also wearing their raid suits.
They're still coughing up some blood.
Blood.
Hope it's not Reiju's blood.
No, it's raspberry jam.
It's jelly.
Preserves.
But I thought right there, but I thought like, oh God, is this the end of Germa? But then it got so much worse. Well, before that, we see Judge facing off with Snack, who's still obscured.
Yeah, weird, right?
Do you think Snack is going to be like a major player later on?
Maybe. I don't know. Like he'll want to enact his revenge against Arouge.
I mean, like we had the introduction of Lumpy Space Princess sister. I can't remember her name. And like, you know, characters like Bavaroa, and you know, we've had their designs revealed. There's definitely a reason to why Oda's holding off on showing Snack. Because I feel like Big Mom, like this isn't the end of Big Mom. Big Mom will return. She's like James Bond.
She will return in Octopussy.
In
Octopastry.
Writing that down. I don't know what for. I'm not deciding the title of the episode this week.
Oh, it's already been decided by the time we're recording this.
Sweet. But I wonder if there's going to be a Snack redemption arc.
The Tosh.0 of One Piece gives him a redemption.
Jeez.
Is that too weird of a cut? Not a deep cut. It's a weird cut.
I'm just shocked that you would reference that show. I mean, I'm shocked that show's still going, but
me too. Yeah.
I don't even watch TV.
Either way, let's.
But this chapter started off all well and good with like, oh wow, are those your friends, Jinbei? Wow, you have such a great crew. We're gonna be nice and safe, and this is gonna end like any other arc. We're just gonna sail away or fly away, and then it gets to the last page. And at first I thought like, oh, is that like a like one of the Fishmen's ship or like a German ship? I'm like, oh no. Oh no, that's the Sunny.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's the Flag.
Yep.
And it really, like, I was taken back by the end of this chapter. I was shocked. I think just that visual alone, like, yeah, it is like the bad ending to the video game that is the One Piece manga.
Yeah, like if the One Piece manga was a Telltale game.
Yeah.
And you chose the wrong thing, this is what happens. Like press X to salute. I don't know.
Big Mom will remember that.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about this. So clearly, Straw Hats are no more. And
yes, clearly. But if they weren't, what do you think happened? Like, where do you think we're going to go from here?
That's a stretch.
What's the next? Where's the next chapter going to take us?
But I'll play your game.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if Oda just cut to something else,
like the Reverie.
First. Reverie, or even like Wano. I think Wano's a bit too much, but then again, he could kind of do what he did at the end of Dressrosa with cutting to Zoe, but Doflamingo was already defeated.
Right.
It would be the ultimate troll if Oda spent like a chapter or two just doing the Reverie. It would be amazing. Because we know this isn't the ending.
Well,
it's clearly
Oda. I think it's been confirmed through the editor that after Whole Cake they're doing Reverie and then Wano.
Wow.
So,
well, that's kind of what he said at not this past Jump Festa, but 2 Jump Festas ago, that Reverie would follow Whole Cake Island. Before Wano, so it totally makes sense. I feel like a lot of people would be pissed, but I think I would enjoy it. I think Oda's really outdone himself. I know like this arc has had its problems and some things like, oh, what was the point of that? Sorry, I'm not even being specific. I'm being very vague. but I was not expecting this kind of ending to a chapter at all. And Otis still has a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what happened to the Straw Hats, really. I mean, like, clearly the Sunny isn't dead. Clearly the Straw Hats aren't dead.
It's a ship.
Well, it's not just a ship, but we know what Oda does to dead ships. He dedicates a lot to them. Plus, this is the ship that Frankie said was going to sail to Raftel. Like, I
it's
not just that, but if not, it's a boiling sea.
God, I forgot about the Fishman stuff too, because that happens so quick. Like when I was first reading this chapter, I spent a lot of time thinking, oh, we can see the Fishman pirates kick ass, and then, but then it just
how about that
started
oven?
Turning for the worst. Yeah, freaking oven coming back.
Yeah, man,
I thought he was dead. No, I didn't think he was dead, but I really do like Oven. But yeah, it's really unsettling going back and looking at Wadatsumi like boiling.
Yeah.
And Montour really is a major player in this family. I always thought he was just another he was just one of the schmucks that just made his own clique within the family. But
no, he's like the secretary, man.
Yeah,
he's the bookkeeper.
He's the PA. Sorry, I'm forgetting what tangent was going. But clearly, this is all like just an illusion.
It's a Patrick Duffy dream.
I don't know that reference, but
that's a Dallas reference. Like she wakes up and Patrick Duffy isn't actually dead. He's like in the shower.
Oh, like Luffy and this half of the Straw Hat Pirates are just gonna be in the shower.
Yeah, they're all gonna be in the shower together.
Hey, Big Mom, you enjoy that cake?
Yeah.
But yeah, this must be a big psychedelic food coma dream.
Could be
that
pudding.
Cake must have been that good. What was that?
Could be pudding.
Now, how do you think that could be pudding?
So Ed brought this up. Do you want to know Ed's theory?
Sure.
Okay, so Ed's theory was basically like, I don't know, pudding did it. It was basically Wizard did it, but pudding. But pudding was helping to make the cake. She could probably have put some sort of, thing in the cake that if you ate it, then you would gain these memories. This scenario.
But could she make artificial memories or only just take existing memories?
See, we don't know that. We don't know the extent of her power.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't bring this up in the chapter because I completely forgot about it. But what about her third eye's true power that Big Mom was talking about? Like, what could that be?
Wow, yeah.
Like maybe she could harness the power of her third eye or whatever and do something wacky with her memory powers. I don't know.
She could be like an illusionist or something.
That's right. She turns illusions for money.
I'm not gonna get that girl off the street. Anywho, yeah, But then again, like we do see Pudding in this chapter, and she's all like, It's like I'm not the one to thank. I didn't do anything. It's like it wasn't me.
Well, I don't know. We're not going to find.
But I mean, that is talking about the flavor. Sanji did bring Big Mom to Flavor Town.
Yeah, it's true. She put on a flip flop. So good, she put on a flip flop.
It's another reference. I'm just going to nod my head in agreement.
It's something that Guy Fieri has said, which I think is disgusting. Like, oh, that's so good. Oh, I could eat it off a flip flop. I'm like, I'm not eating anything off a flip flop. You sweaty, disgusting thing.
I thought I just meant that he really liked flip flops. Like he liked wearing flip flops.
He's like eating flip flops.
Well, if anyone can make a flip flop taste great, it's Sanji.
That's right.
Clearly,
so
this is. What was that, Alex?
Do you have overall thoughts on the chapter? I think we should start wrapping it up.
It's going to be a chapter that I'm going to remember where I was and what I was feeling after reading it. A hell of a 100 chapter too. I can't remember one being this great in a while. Like honestly, I forgot what 800 was, but I know 700 was kind of the between Punk Hazard and Dressrosa.
Yeah, wasn't 800 like the chapter where Dressrosa ends, basically, where they sail away, or the
Oh, it was the Straw Hat Fleet.
Yeah, was it
The sake cups?
Yeah,
which I shouldn't downplay that. That was actually a really good chapter, but this one I don't want to describe it as the feels, but like it definitely. Like, it wasn't just like oh, hey, that was a cool chapter. It was like whoa.
and it's weird, right? It's a weird
I need to
chapter.
process it. Yeah, it's just tonally. It's
dreamlike.
Yeah. It's, like I said, Oda's still has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and I don't think anyone would have predicted him pulling this kind of storytelling device. But we all know, it's like Luffy isn't dead. But hey, this definitely makes me want to read the next chapter already, just to know how this was all pulled off.
Yeah, this makes me like think of like Alabasta. Like, imagine reading Alabasta week to week, and after like Luffy, dies, quote unquote.
Oh, gets stabbed by a crocodile.
Yeah. But then it gets pulled out, I guess, the chapter afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But
everybody else thinks he's dead for like a volume.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long time. I just think I think it's just One Piece in general. It's like, well, we know what the ending is going to be. Luffy's going to be king of the pirates, but we're enjoying the journey, and that's definitely what this chapter is. But yeah, Luffy's not dead. There's so many adventures left to make. We have to go to Wano.
Yeah,
Alex, we got to go to Wano.
Gotta go to Wano.
We gotta go to Wano.
Oh, but Steve, that's like 8 hours away.
Yeah, Alex, come on, get in the boat. We gotta go to Wano.
Ew. Oh.
We gotta go on more adventures.
Crikey.
More adventures, Straw Hat adventures.
Alex and Steve adventures.
Adventures to Wano. We gotta go to Wano. We gotta get the cubes. The cubes with ancient writing on them.
Green cube.
And if you know what they say,
the red cube.
You die. You die. You get killed.
Watch Bushworld Adventures, everyone.
Yeah, you should.
I'll
kill
good.
You.
It's a real gun, Morty. All right.
The real cake. The cake's delicious. Eat the cake. Eat the cake, Alex. Eat the cake.
Oh, I don't want to eat the cake, Steve.
Eat the cake so we can go to Wano. So we can go to Wano, Alex.
Doing this for like a minute. All right. That about covers it for this.
Well, thank you for indulging, Alex and podcast listeners. I really want to make sure I got my 2 cents in about chapter 900. It's a milestone.
Is there anything else you wanted to mention about the chapter? Anything else you wanted to say before we sign off?
She liked it.
She liked the cake.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, thank you, Steve.
I'll see you guys real soon. In Wano!
Well, I guess this is the last piece together. I imagine you all have lots of questions, so I guess let's just get to them, Zach.
Ed, I mean, it's been... Look, I'm like about to cry. It's so easy to do.
This is definitely not what you sound like all the time.
Wow, Ed, just cutting to the
You could
quick.
do a really good Fire Crouch impression, I think.
Hey everyone, it's Fire Crouch, and I'm going to talk about goats this week. Let's start out with everyone's favorite segment, Ed.
This piece.
First one comes from, actually, all three of them come from Morgul. First, killing off the Straw Hats is a good April Fool's joke, except it's a day late. Correct. Also, what if the next chapter doesn't follow up on this cliffhanger right away? What if we cut... He literally has your theory, Steven, so...
Okay.
Is this your pen name, Steven?
Well, which one was it?
It's no to Steve Walker.
Oh, okay, that would be me then.
Can I write? I want to write that one down. He also said, I see Oda has now joined the Four-Eyed Clan. Let's get into some emails. First one comes from Cody, and it's for Steven. Steven's so popular. You have cemetery spelt with an A during Big Mom's big song, is this just a typo or an intentional spelling?
What?
Did you? I didn't even notice that.
Is cemetery spelled with 3 E's?
Yeah, cemetery.
No, I'm pretty sure it's spelled with 2 E's than an A.
No, I looked this up actually before, and I think
Wow.
that is actually right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
This is Alexi's problem.
That's Alexi. They have proofreaders. I think they're supposed to catch that. Well, there is a band that spells it with an A, so I was actually basing it on that.
And also, the Stephen King book is with an S and an A at the end, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he actually asked, "Is it an oblique reference to Stephen King's Pet Cemetery?"
Yes, it was. You cracked the case. Good job.
Thank you, Cody.
Oh wait, they spell it with an E and 2 A's. That's even weirder.
Just Martin asks, "How is Caesar gonna save the Straw Hats out of this mess?"
Oh.
Get the wrong cast member on for that question.
Oh,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be great if what exploded was just Caesar?
Somehow just looks like a ship, but it is just Caesar Clown exploding. Yeah.
No. He's supposed to be the cannonball, and he fails.
This one comes from Derek, who said, "I've only been listening to the podcast for about a year, but it's quickly become one of my weekly habits. I have a name suggestion for the trivia section and a stupid question. The name suggestion is Know Your Piece." I like that. I don't know if are you guys good with that? Know Your Piece.
I like it.
Pretty good.
Try it on.
We'll try.
We'll take other suggestions too.
My question is, if the Straw Hat Crew started playing D&D, what would everyone play as? Didn't we get this question?
Okay,
I feel like we did.
we got this on Reddit, and somebody actually wrote an answer. Do you want me to just read that now?
Oh yeah, go for. Like this week it was asked on Reddit?
Yes.
That's weird.
All right.
Maybe it was the same person. I don't know. The question here was, what D&D classes would the Straw Hats play, and who would the DM be? And so someone, DNubs Pro, says they don't play D&D, so just use this answer, Steven. So Usopp would be the DM. He is the best storyteller and liar there is. Luffy would be a barbarian. All he knows how to do is punch his way out of situations while yelling. Zoro would be the fighter, which is the only class that could feasibly triple wield swords and pull off all the crazy athletic stunts Zoro will want to pull off. Nami would be the rogue. That makes sense. She'll just want to steal constantly and ruin Usopp's carefully laid plans. Sanji is a paladin, dishing out support, bound to a personal code, and personal sacrifice is what he's all about. Chopper would be Chopper Man. He will insist on being the superhero Chopper Man, and Usopp will have to make a custom class for him. Robin is a wizard. She'll pick up on the rules in the handbook pretty quick and take a morbid liking to necromancy spells. Frankie will be a cleric, decked out in full plate armor and shooting righteous laser beams from the sky. That's all he will care about. Brooke is a bard. This one is a no-brainer. Yo-ho-ho. And Jinbei is a monk, cool, calm, and collected. No doubt he'll be the voice of reason within the group when things inevitably get out of hand. I'm not sure if it's D&D, but I think there's definitely some of the like classic RPG systems where the monk is like unarmed, like he fights with his hands. So that would
That's also D&D.
Okay, yeah.
For the record, I've never played, but I'm always very interested in playing. I just never really get into the situations where I don't know. I've just never hung out with enough D&D people.
I've got a new campaign coming up, so I'm excited.
I imagine a scenario where Luffy initially demands to be the DM because he's the captain, and then as soon as they start trying to describe the rules and how it works to him, he just starts picking his nose and is like, "Yeah, this is boring."
Yeah,
sounds about right.
The next one comes from someone whose language I don't know. Let me see if anyone in our group knows how to pronounce that. Been a while since I've had something to show.
I think that's Amharic, I think. Ethiopian?
What? That's Greek.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a Psyche. Did I do that right? Oh boy.
Oh yeah, you know what? His email address is PSI, so I'm not going to say the whole thing, but PSI is part of his email address. Anyway, he said, been a while. I had something big to share already, rambled about it on Discord, but here's a condensed version. What if what Pudding did in the alleyway between 12:38 a.m. and 13:37 a.m.? That would be the
Sorry guys, Psyche. I just looked it up. Psyche is soul or psyche.
okay, cool.
Yeah. Neat.
Yeah. So during chapter 896 is something akin to the time leap from Steins Gate. Sanji just lived all those memories from then up through the Sunny Sank in 900 and now has knowledge from those memories to do something about it all, especially fetch the cola that they need for the Kuda burst. Additional possibility, what with Sanji's copy of the future memories, Pudding could try and distract some of the Big Mom pirates with that memory, much like she did the homies back in the Seducing Woods, although the flashback. Also, thoughts on the reverie happening right from chapter 901, and we cut back to the... wow, a lot of people had Steven's idea. Any thoughts on any of that?
I hate to kind of be like a Debbie Downer or to not, just refuse to engage with the ideas of the question, but I feel like that sort of complex or like mind game stuff where he's deliberately showing you something that either didn't happen or is going to have a very complicated explanation. It's just not the way that Oda writes One Piece. And yeah, sure, this could be the one time where he changes it, but I don't know. He's one of the things that makes One Piece what it is how consistent it is about the way it tells its story. And, the fact that he's never done that before, he's never done like a Memento style, like, time or chronology changing thing, kind of suggests to me that, we're not going to get some crazy like Hunter x Hunter style, blow by blow explanation of all this weird stuff that was happening that we didn't understand at first.
Like Luffy, Oda's power is intense straightforwardness.
Yeah,
Oda is actually probably one of the most reliable narrators in manga that I could think of. It's either straightforward or flashback, and that's just about it. Yeah. So that's gonna do it for emails. Steven, please save me from talking.
Okay. All right. Well, we got tons of Reddit. I already read one of them, so there we go. We're one down. I'll continue with Poke Luffy 2, who says, first of all, today is my birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
For my question with Luffy
one day late from having an awesome birthday, but still good.
Well, if his birthday was on Thursday, it'd be better, but that's fine.
Yeah, well.
You could have had Zach and Usopp's birthday.
Yeah.
For my question with Luffy fighting Doflamingo, Cracker, and Katakuri, his hardening haki, armament haki, has gotten stronger, and his observation haki got stronger from fighting Katakuri. Do you think in Wano, Luffy will have to strengthen his conquer haki to beat Kaido?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
If that's how it goes, then I could definitely see that.
It'll be interesting to see if Conqueror's hockey manifests like in new ways other than just kind of a thing that wipes people out,
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeoman Axel says this latest episode gave us our first look at Charlotte Poire, who is the girl with the panda hood and the sharp teeth. It got me thinking, why are some members of the Charlotte family given flack for their physical irregularities while others are left alone? Montdor, Nustorte, and Perospero all look pretty weird, but they are accepted by the family, while Pudding and Katakuri are mocked for their appearances. I think the Charlotte family as a whole is a lot more accepting than we give it credit for, and it's only those two that suffer because of their unique circumstances. Pudding is Big Mom's favorite, and this probably makes her siblings extremely jealous, so trying to make themselves feel better, they bully her for her third eye by following their mother's example. And Katakuri is seen by everyone as being perfect, which is why Flampe reacted so strongly to his apparent imperfections. I think Oven and Daifuku know about his face, but we can't assume they've never told anyone, which could hint at some brotherly loyalty that we haven't seen yet.
That sounds about right.
Pudding and Katakuri are like on the cusp of being beautiful, perfect-looking anime characters, and Like Perispero and Montour are, far gone. There's no hope for them.
Also, those guys are dicks, and I don't think Oda wants us to feel sorry for them. So that's why he didn't give them sadder backstories. That's my guess. I guess it is kind of true that he's been a little inconsistent with applying that concept, but I feel like it probably has more to do with individually, is the character supposed to be sympathetic or not sympathetic? And those other guys are just kind of like grunts, so they're I guess they're not really worthy of a closer examination of their character. Real Pool says, now that One Piece has ended, how do you plan to spend your Mondays? Are we going to continue the podcast until the anime catches up, or just abruptly end it like the manga?
Like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I'll just fade out at the end of this episode.
We're going to start following Zoroto.
Yeah, I think we covered it already.
Or, have personal lives on Monday nights. Nah,
What are
that's
those?
ridiculous.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'll play some video games.
Yeah, Jill's like, oh, it's no problem for me. More time for Final Fantasy. All right, BTAD NYC says, do you think the reason why Chapter 900 became a musical and why there is singing in this arc was because of the Kabuki play? Maybe Oda was inspired by seeing One Piece live on stage. Also, this weekend is my birthday, but I'm really craving some wedding cake. Since Big Mom won't share any with me, can you wish me a happy birthday with your best One Piece character impression?
Ooh.
I'll start with Zach. This is
My best one. I mean, the only.
do your best Marge.
What's the guy's name again? I'm sorry, it wasn't.
BTAD NYC.
P-Tad NYC. Now don't you eat that pie. Thank you very much.
That's a good gift.
Oh,
Wow.
Which Straw Hat was that?
Charlotte Marge.
Charlotte Marge.
Charlotte Marge.
Margin in charge.
All
All right. Yeah, I think there you go. There's your token.
Can't top that.
Dude.
I was gonna have like a Bon Clay. What was it? Wasn't it BTAD?
Mm-hmm.
BTAD-chan! Happy birthday! Misate Angerwang!
Oh, can you do Papag?
Why Papag?
Never mind, go ahead.
All right. We'll cut him some slack there. ATLA for Life says, do you think all of these supernovas will end up on Wano? We have Luffy, Zoro, and Law in the same alliance. Kid, Killer, and Apu should already be there with Kaido. Hawkins is missing, but it's possible he's in that vicinity. Rouge, Bonnie, and Bed seem to be the outliers. I was thinking, since it's going to be such a large arc, all of them will somehow find their way there. Thoughts?
Bonnie's the wild card.
I mean, I would like to see more of them, but I don't see all of them happening. I feel like he's got to be wary because there's going to be so many new characters already.
I don't see Veg following.
Right.
Yeah, probably not.
And it's not going to be like, this isn't the final arc, so I think there have to be more supernovas in other places in the world currently for the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bonnie is a wild card considering she's Luffy's mom, so we'll have to just wait and see on that one.
It's not nice to make someone do a spit take with hot tea in their mouth.
I'm sorry, Zach.
All right. Well, speaking of members of the podcast with their own secret aliases, this question comes from 6-foot Caucasian LeBron, who says,
That's me, by the way.
LeBron James?
Yeah, I'm 6 foot. What was it? 6'4" Caucasian LeBron James. Alex, did you not hear about this last week?
And he has the body shape of Fukaboshi.
I do. That's true. Also, I can't deny any of that.
I know this is a long ways away, but if you start pulling some strings now, maybe you guys can voice Morgan's groupies from this week's anime episode when the dub makes it there. And okay, there's a link here. The cat. It looks like a cat and a mouse and a bee. And they're all saying Morgan-sama.
B.
Okay, so wait. Who's the mouse? Who's the cat? And who's the bee?
Well, the bee is because it sounds like Seinfeld.
B movie.
It's Big Morgans.
Magnus Morgan.
It's Morgans.
Why am I a bee?
I don't want to be a bee. I can't even do that voice right now. It all hurts. It all
Or
hurts
the
so
other,
much.
Other animals.
A mouse or a cat,
Yeah.
but like a really effeminate cat.
Like Snagglepuss?
The cat has a scarf and a ribbon.
A bow.
Yeah.
So
Like
maybe
Snagglepuss.
just
Yeah, so he hangs out with Snagglepuss. at least.
They're clearly all women because or at least
Wow, we don't want your gender conforming animal roles. Here's that.
sorry they all identify as women, animals who are fans of Big News Morgan. There was no winning in this. I'm leaving.
Oh boy. All right. Fierce Alchemist says, in the debates about the end of this chapter, I've seen people bring up that it's Frankie's dream for the Thousand Sunny to take Luffy to Raftel to be the next Pirate King's ship. But it's not specific to the Sunny, right? It just needs to be a ship he built.
Well, he specifically said the Sunny is the ship that's going to
Yes.
make it to
Yeah.
Raftel. There's
Yeah.
no way the Sunny breaks up.
And the
Yeah.
Adam would.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
That's why I'm
he
kind of
needs to
wondering if we're
prepare
going to
it.
see a like really bad shape Sunny, but not a
Right.
completely decimated Sunny. Yeah.
Right. I just can't see Oda playing that card again. Like that would just be kind of such a slap in the face to various.
It's like if Laboon died. Just
Yeah.
out of panel. They just get back there.
Maybe that's
Laboon's
what
dead.
Laboon was here and he threw himself in front of the cannonball
Mhm.
to save
That's
the
what
Straw
the
Hats.
whale and the color spread indicated.
And all the burning wreckage was just him throwing up, old ships that
Yeah.
were in his stomach. Yep.
Just barfing them up.
Golden Monk 7360 says, now that half the crew has been killed off, who are your replacement Straw Hats? Who is the new captain?
I'm loving all of these questions.
Well, Zoro
Great.
is next in command,
Yeah,
right?
Zoro's next.
Yeah. But will Usopp?
The thing is now they will get lost and never find
Oh God.
Yeah, they don't have a
One Piece.
navigator.
Yeah.
I'm a navigator or a helmsman.
Pick'ems. All Pick'ems on the fish.
Beppo, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They just hang out on Zono. That's
You know
they
what?
do.
I hate to tell you, Law's part of the crew now. Sorry.
Oh,
Laws.
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. All the permanent Straw Hats did it, but now we have Carrot and Caesar.
Straw
Oh
Heart
shit!
Pirates.
I just realized Law's been doing so well in the popularity polls that Oda's like, we're gonna kill off Luffy. Law's gonna be the next main character. That's how we're doing it, right? That's what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or-
his
We're
his
pulling a
9
10
movie
gets up a girl in
contract.
the gun.
Yeah.
His 9 movie
or
contract
maybe
is at the end.
or maybe Oda was like, oh no, he's too popular. I have to do something. And then he was like, oh, he's going to use the Shamras, and he switched himself for Luffy, and he sacrificed his life bravely.
To
for-
be-
Yeah, so it's not Laboon, it's Law.
To be fair, Ace and many artists are never more popular than when they're dead. So
that is true,
maybe
yeah.
he's trying to raise Luffy's popularity.
I don't know. Let's see. Mr. Fiendish says, do you think with the destruction of the deck of the Sunny, Frankie will redesign the doors of the ship to actually allow his enormous shoulders to fit through?
Okay, so
Never.
here's the thing. On AP forums, before the time skip was over, people said that Jinbei couldn't join because he was too big for the doors, and then we saw Frankie's design, and that
Yeah.
just ignored every argument.
Oh. Well, then they ripped the doors off, so maybe he will just make it bigger just for Jinbei, not for his shoulders.
You know,
His shoulders
I have a better idea than destroying the entire ship to make doors, big. You could just redesign the frickin' doors. It's not.
Yeah. Well, for Jinbei specifically, like he doesn't need to go inside. He just goes in the fish tank, and then he's
Oh my
So
God,
this, the
that's
only thing they have
actually
to make
perfect.
bigger is the latch at the top.
yeah.
That's
That's
gravy. I didn't even think about that. I was actually just thinking about how they, he's not going to fit in one of those tiny little hammocks. Where's he gonna go? Boom, fish tank. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
What's
There
next?
you go.
Yep.
Niver says, "Dear Fairy Tale podcast, since you guys make a lot of Family Guy references, what would you like to see in a crossover between Fairy Tale and Family Guy?"
Hey, Lois, remember the time I got fire powers and was a ripoff for One Piece? Eh.
Has anyone here actually read Fairy Tale?
Only that one chapter we did as an April Fool's joke like 5 years ago.
Boy.
It really pissed Jammer off because he had no idea what we were talking about.
That's right. That's definitely in character for Jammer.
I haven't really read it. No, I've seen bits.
I read some of Rave or Rave Master, I think they called it in English, and all I remember of that is that they had airships in that one. Like he was like, instead of being pirates on the sea, they'll have airships. And I remember that whenever there would be any damage, in order to show if you're in an RPG and your character has lost hit points, the way that he would show damage on the ships is that they would just have giant cracks all through them. And I was like, that's not how structural integrity works. If there's a crack through the whole thing, it's just going to split in half. This makes no sense. And that's the extent of my thoughts about that guy.
Wow, that was an answer about a series he wasn't asking about.
There's a bunch of boobs in that, right? Fairy Tale? It's like
yeah,
Booby City, I heard.
Family Guy too.
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Well,
I don't know, people. We read One Piece. I don't know if we can talk about others boobies in other series.
Yeah,
It's One Piece.
we're married to these boobs. GDEF says, longtime listener, just want to say thanks for doing such high quality work for so long. Well, thank you.
That was
just
a
wondering-
weird question to come straight off of
Yeah.
that other one, but yes, thank you.
I was just wondering if you all think it likely that the way we have all just read Chapter 900 is the altered memory of the event that Pudding has replaced in Mama's mind. If this happened, do you think it would be a satisfying way to use Pudding's powers and give an explanation to why Mama wouldn't be chasing these Straw Hats across the New World? Keep up the good work, everyone. Yeah, okay, so that last part I think is interesting because I don't know if we necessarily raise that possibility that if it is a memory thing, that it kind of puts them in the clear, so to speak. But the problem with that, I guess, is that that would be for Big Mom, but Big Mom isn't on the ship. They're getting wrecked by her forces, her fleet.
Dora, I think, was
herself.
in charge of that. Right?
Yeah.
Unless Pudding can change everyone's memory. All her crew has to be is just no, Mom, that didn't happen. They're
Right.
still out there. She's like, oh.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Let's see. Black Northwind has a bunch of questions. Let me pick one out. Hello, OPP. I don't know how the Straw Hats are going to escape their grim situation now, but know how Capone is going to get away without his ship, Caesar, because how else is he and his crew going to get out of Fluffy Island? Also, happy birthday to both Zeph and Jimbei. Is it Jimbei's birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's around now.
Okay.
Do you know what's weird? Wow. Do you know what's weird?
Your voice?
This is the most embarrassing podcast for me. Is that Capone and Luffy may both be shipless at the end of this. Yeah. Possible.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I don't. Now that you mention it, I don't know what Capone's gonna do. Let's see. 11 Orange Blue says, do you think they did a switcher and escaped underwater with the help of bubble coating? The fishermen pirates must have helped them, and the panel with Luffy pointing ahead is suspicious.
That crossed my mind, but that seems so convoluted. And
that was such a process in the Sabaudi arc.
Even Rayleigh, who was good at it, took him several days. And
if we had seen Den randomly, maybe, but
Den. Everyone loves Den.
Zach, your voice
Wow.
has contempt. Contempt for old Den.
I don't like Den.
Now he's like, everybody loves Den. Everybody loves Raymond. Anyway.
Hey, why do people hate me? All I do is coach ships. I have my brother, his name's Tom. He's really tall.
Sailor Karna says, "Were you surprised that Pedro didn't show up in this chapter? I mean, just about everyone appeared in this chapter except for Pedro. And now that I think about it, Caesar. I have a theory, but to be continued. This question will be off next week."
That's funny. You know, maybe Pedro is around. I mean, he is kind of learning by explosions, right? Hey, an explosion! I should be there.
Yeah, maybe he like rigged up something to explode. I don't know.
He went to the explosion dimension and he was summoned
with Chaozu.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
White Bear Beppo says there's an inconsistency regarding the candy-coated bullets. I had assumed that these bullets were ineffective against the Vin spokes strictly because of the raid suit, since they were blocking bullets to protect Caesar during the wedding. However, this chapter shows the Vin smokes getting injured from these bullets. You know, I think he's got a point.
Mystery bullets.
Yes.
You know what? That might be further credence for Ed's theory.
Which one? Ed had like 3 theories.
Well, this is the the bad end. Like, this is the
clue.
Everything works out for the Big Mom ending.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm still so torn because I actually think that would be a really cool concept, but it's just like so narratively, you know, it's just so different from the One Piece narrative, and there's nothing to indicate as such. But I would dig that, especially if it's like a real clue ending where you get like 3 different ones and you don't find out for like a month as to which one is the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home and have sex with my wife.
All right. Next is from presumably our very own Itchnob, Dennis, who asks, since this week's chapter is a musical, what do you think would be any One Piece character's favorite Broadway musical? He also throws down hard mode. You cannot choose Newsies for Big News Morgans or Cats for Cat Viper.
So for Nami, it would be Rent, but instead of being about gay people and AIDS, it would just be people paying her rent.
Wow.
I would have guessed for Nami it would be 42nd Street because they have that, "We're in the money" song. Is that 42nd Street? Or am I thinking of another one?
The book
I think that is 42nd Street.
The Book of Morgans.
God, if I had an empty plastic bottle, I'd throw it at you right now, Zach.
Sanji is Nathan Detroit in a production of Guys and Dolls.
Onigumo and Spider-Man the Musical.
Turn off the dark.
Peckham's favorite is the Lion King, because he is the Lion Viper.
Frankie is Young Frankenstein. I don't know.
That's not a musical.
Is that a musical? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Mel Brooks turned it into a musical.
I think Vivi's would be Aida.
Aida?
Aida, the Elton John adapted opera.
Oh, wow.
I think we all know what Even Cobbs is.
That's right. That's right.
That's baby mode.
Phantom of the Opera.
That's what I was gonna say. Oh, Alex, all the good jokes get stolen. That's how that works.
Oh,
What if one character didn't even like musicals? Like, I just like to go to see Broadway. I just like to go to Broadway to see spoken word.
Whose favorite is Hamilton?
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Everybody loves
Robin.
Yeah.
Robin would be good.
Your cat still wants to see Cat Viper as Cat.
She started again. She's just out my door pawing to get in.
Mine is
tell her the Cat Viper musical isn't gonna happen. Anyway,
mine is
next?
circling my seat and licking my hand right now.
Ooh, Tom's is Starlight Express. There we go.
Are there dawns in it?
Yeah, there's
Trains actually.
It's about a Astro train. Not to be confused.
Aren't they on roller
Transformer.
skates in that movie or in that musical? Aren't they on roller skates?
They're all on roller skates.
All right.
Wait. Who would be Footloose? Which one?
Sanji.
Okay. Fine.
Or who loses a foot? Oars, Little Oars.
Oh
Jr.
no, Zeph.
Dogstorm. Yeah.
Or Dogstorm.
Right.
Okay.
They all star in it. Everybody who loses a foot in One Piece. Stupid.
I love it.
Anime Lover 1491 says, what do you think about next chapter? We jump to the crew in Wano and the Reverie, and we see them all reacting to a newspaper titled Big News, Straw Hats invade, destroy, and escape Big Mom's territory instead of actually seeing what happens right away. So I guess that would be kind of like a 2D or a 3D 2Y kind of situation where like you sort of see, like you get like everybody reacting to it, but you don't find out like how or why or something like that. A bit of a tease still left behind. Like that would be interesting, I guess.
I don't hate that. I don't know if that would be my number one. Like that's how I want it to go. But yeah,
right. I mean, I think we can all pretty much assume that there's going to be some kind of Morgan's newspaper, scene stealing headline bit in the Reverie probably. Let's see. We're getting to the end here. Menzel STH says, do you think the devastation in the chapter actually happened? I'm pretty sure it's all manipulated by Pudding. She used her convenient powers to make the Big Mom pirates think they have defeated the Straw Hats, the Vinsmokes, and the Sun Pirates, that these guys can escape the island without them all chasing. I genuinely wouldn't like that because it would be the biggest fake out in the series, but I don't think Shueisha would agree to so many deaths even if Oda wanted it, and I'm sure he wouldn't too. Either way, I can't wait to see this scene animated. The contrast of the happy-go-lucky song and the destruction of the Sunny can be really uncomfortable in the best way possible.
That's like everything we've said.
Yeah, we definitely covered that. I was gonna say at one point when he was doing a lot of the cross cutting of the singing and like the Vinsmokes getting shot and stuff, that like there's almost like a bit of a Godfather montage going on there. But I guess in this case it would be a lot more kind of happy go lucky than like lullaby style. But I think I think that will definitely be something to look for when they get there in the anime. Ninja Star 723. Let's see if all the rest of these questions are still the same things we've been talking about. Long-time listener, first time submitting a question. Assuming the worst, the ship of dreams being crushed by Big Mom, is legit, I'm curious if Oda might have done this to set us up with getting a new ship, maybe at Wano. Do you think this might have been done to get around how the hell Frankie was going to get more wood from the Tree of Adam for repairs if the Sunny survived? And on that note, do you think the emotional delivery of this chapter compared with our last moments with the Going Merry?
There was I don't remember where it was, but there's a schematic of Inside the Sunny, and they have a room with Adam Wood in it already. So
yeah,
they have extra.
Right, I thought he had a stockpile, but then again, he's not here, so if the ship gets sunk, presumably that's lost, I guess.
I mean, is it wrong that I kind of don't hate the idea of just the Sunny dying in kind of a callous way almost, because we never really get that kind of like, and people sometimes just die, things sometimes just happen,
like Bobbin.
Look, hey, I'm dead.
Bobbin happens.
I don't know. Something in me feels that the Sunny is slightly different than Bobbin in the scope of the series.
Maybe. Crazy.
That's a weird comment, Joey, but
yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Zach, and I'm not saying I wouldn't necessarily say that I want the series to always be the same, but I feel like a lot of the consistency of One Piece, like I was saying, is because of kind of strong principled storytelling that Oda has, and
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah. I mean, it would be novel for sure, but it would also feel like he kind of like, if that was the case, that he would be kind of straying from the soul of One Piece. To do so. And last one, actually, this is a good ending question. It's from Spatial Piano. I'd like to reiterate a question I made during Zoe. Do you guys still believe introducing Oda to Game of Thrones was a good idea?
Yes.
Brag.
On a serious note, though, my prediction is that Nami used the heat and steam from Oven's attack to create a massive mirage tempo to cloak Sunny and copy the image of the ship that was blown up first. She has the extra reach from the improved Climatact and maybe help from Zeus, so I find this plausible. What do you guys think?
Oh Zeus!
That rules.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah, I like that.
The
That's
only
a
reason
great theory.
the only reason I really like this is Zeus, that they still have Zeus. Because they clearly were foreshadowing, oh, they took Zeus, so there needs to be something to happen with Zeus.
Plus,
Um,
Zeus wasn't in Mama's hallucination.
Well,
Prometheus was, but not Zeus.
Well, because she didn't have Zeus.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
Interesting.
perfect. That's an excellent theory.
Yeah,
I am
that is-
on board.
Yeah, I wasn't on board until the end there, and now I'm on board.
This is why we read like almost all of the piece together every week.
Yeah, I'm glad we read that last one. I could
Good one.
totally. Yeah, that's a really good one.
You have the podcast stamp of approval.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 weeks before we find out.
Yeah.
But before we say to be continued to this episode, Ed, we have one more segment on the Piece Together segment, and that is
Piece the Tweezers.
what do we have on Twitter?
On Twitter, we got our first question from Ilvergun. Says, so I'm wondering if the Sunny is underwater, but intentionally. They mentioned the ship had a hole in it already, making it easier to pull it down under.
That was a
I wonder
different
if-
ship. That was a different ship.
I think
Yeah.
that's a different ship.
Yeah.
Sorry. Next one comes from Tom Yorkshire. Says, Brooks Devil Fruit imbues his music with soul powers. While Brooks' music is about his own individuality, Big Mom's power/music is about the collectiveness of her land. Is Big Mom's music affected by the soul fruit powers? Maybe her homies get stronger when she sings.
I was definitely thinking about that, like with just the way that everything kind of morphs and changes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were seeing the last pages where they have like the very kind of homified version of what appears to be Fluffy Island, which is where she is. So it's like, okay, well, is that Big Mom's like sort of bliss site active, or is her happiness so great that she's like literally just turning everything super homey with, you know, her mood essentially. And I don't know, I think it's a good, like they're both interesting ways to look at it.
Okay, next one. This is also from Tom Yorkshire, who says, do you think it's time for Sunny's Klabouterman to finally appear, and was it Peckham's all along? I read it for the Peckhams.
Yeah.
Oh, poor blind Peckhams. Poor Peckhams. Oh, my heart weeps. Oh.
Okay. Dr. Simidoku says, now that the main character is dead, who should become the new main character? I would like to follow Usopp to get a bigger perspective of how outlandish the journey is for a real human. Thanks.
We all know the real main character now is Big News Morgans. There's a reason he was introduced in this arc. It's a perfect passing of the beak. That's
I
how
personally
the
blame
island
Zach.
safe.
Actually, speaking of Big News Morgans, our next one comes from G. He says every 100 chapters, some big news happens. How would Morgans author the clickbait article titles for present or past centennial chapters? Example, his headline would be Big News, Big Mom eats half her kingdom, saves room for dessert.
Thousand Sunny destroyed?
More like Thousand Sunny dressing.
How is that?
That doesn't even make sense.
Any more One Piece related headlines?
Well, what are the events of the 100? Do they all have to be 100?
You know what?
landmark
This is a
chapters?
perfect opportunity to say, for a limited time only, the all of our 100th the centennial chapter recaps are available on SoundCloud. You can check that out on our SoundCloud page, soundcloud.com/One Piece Podcast. So the ones we did, there was this one. 800 was the end of Dressrosa, the big grand fleet. 700 was what was it? I think it's the end of Punk Hazard. Was that the fight between Aokiji and oh no,
I
that
don't
was-
I don't remember what happened on the centennial chapters, honestly.
Anyway, you can
Yeah.
listen. 500
the
was
first-
Rayleigh.
So is that
Okay.
your answer then, Zach?
Oh,
Big News Morgans would advertise that he
For
has
the
a
One Piece
limited
podcast.
amount of time.
Yeah.
check out my SoundCloud. That's what he says.
Big News Morgans is my favorite character for a reason.
King Luffy one says, what are the odds Chapter 901 has us follow up on Zoro and the others on their mission? We don't see the true conclusion to Whole Cake Island for at least a couple weeks. Next level trolling by Oda, if that is the case.
A lot of people
I mean,
have that
a lot of
theory.
people think that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty into that. I'm kind of feeling ready to see some new stuff, so I think that would be pretty fun.
I just can't see him like doing this really, kind of stark and crazy cliffhanger ending and then immediately being like, hey, no, it's okay, the next chapter, and then and then having some additional resolution to the arc. It just seems it would be too quick of a turnaround for something this dramatic. That's my thought.
Okay, Met Wars has a question that's sort of the opposite of that. It says, so is it possible that after this chapter, the whole world will believe that Straw Hat is dead until after the Wano arc? Might give Luffy a bit of an advantage when he takes on Kaido.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. It'd be interesting if like Kaido sees someone that he thinks is dead. Like, you motherfucker, you're actually alive. How dare you? Because he's Kaido.
It turns out that's his secret weakness. He's scared of ghosts.
All right. Next one comes from Yinta BF. Says, since there were homies alive and singing in Big Mom's stomach, does that mean they don't die when you eat them? Wait, does that mean when you go to the bathroom, your poop sings to you?
It sounds like an SBS question.
Yeah, that's an SBS question.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
every time I'm on the toilet, I do think to myself, did I eat those orphans?
Oh no!
I thought you were gonna say
Feels like
it's a musical, number every time.
Oh yeah, musical number 2.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Super Ninja Clone says, this may be crackpot as most people are saying it's a hallucination, but what if it's all real and the song means Big Mom may have actually changed as a person? Has Sanji's cooking humanized an emperor? Have they saved the future of Totland? I think the opposite is more likely.
Yeah, she's still evil. She's still gonna kill
Exactly.
people. There's
Like,
nothing changed.
If anything,
Cool.
she's learned nothing.
Who among us has not been changed by a good meal? That's what I ask you.
Mm.
All right. Next question comes from Sengoku the Gouda. Big cheese fan, this guy.
I like that.
Terrible theory time. Big Mom says risky twice this chapter, foreshadowing the return of the Risky Brothers, Lola and Nico. Company incoming to save the day.
Oh God!
Our Twitter followers are punchier than the people on our Reddit.
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Brevity is the soul of wit.
Brevity is wit.
I mean, we haven't seen from Lola yet.
That's true.
Oh,
Lola.
this next
Lola
guy
saves.
stole my joke from earlier.
Yes, Takeo Jackson does the two-piece with Katakuri as main character. Thank you. So that's clearly where Zach stole it from.
Hey,
Awesome Randy 2 says, that chapter ending, do you believe that the Straw Hat crew escaped? I think
Now they're dead.
There's many different possibilities.
no,
here.
they're all dead. And it's the end of the series, like we've been saying from the beginning.
Ghost Arch thinks that the Sunny being destroyed makes a little sense plot-wise because it gives the Straw Hats a reason to go to Elbaf so that Frankie can make a new ship from the Atom Tree there and also to possibly avenge their fallen comrades against the Big Mom pirates. This guy's taking this chapter at face value, I think.
Yeah.
And that would be crazy if I guess we'd go to Zoe first, theoretically, because Frankie's there, and there'd be like several years that they just didn't even have a ship.
How
would
would
they
they
just
get
take
there?
the Grand Fleet to like Wano and then they go to Elbaf and then Frankie makes another ship? That
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Sunny's probably fine when you logistically think through how things would have to work from here, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yep. All right. Next one comes from Sniper of My Heart. Says, since it is Jinbei's birthday, what do you give him for his birthday?
Luffy memorabilia.
Bigger doors.
Bigger
a
doors.
nice bowl of oatmeal.
Yeah.
Nice.
The fresh water for his tank.
No, he's
But
saltwater.
I would give him. I would
Saltwater,
give him
yeah.
his numbered chapter. That's it.
Oh
There you
yeah.
go.
Jinbei
Oh
needs.
yeah.
Which I was hoping was this one because it would have been so perfectly timed. 900, the ninth. Anyway,
I could have warned you, but I didn't want to spoil you, Zach.
I know.
Maybe that's chapter 909. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Crocker Jakku, who says, if Big Mom is actually eating the residents of Fluffy Island, it would explain why Sparrow's health became an issue. It's so he could witness Mama's actions from afar and inform her later so she can piece together what actually happened to Mother Carmel?
So he tells her that she ate all of her citizens.
Yeah, that she eats people when she's in a
it sounds like a real smart thing for him to do after he's just seen that happen.
After he's already lost, he's already
cannibal.
one limb today. He doesn't need to lose more. Next one comes from Dylan, who says, "How's Frankie going to react to the damage of the Sunny? How would you react if you knew that you had to fix it?"
Oh God.
I'd be fucking pissed.
Yeah, I've had podcasts that didn't get recorded properly, and I assume it would be like that.
Yeah, except that would be like, everything that we don't have on the, all of our SoundCloud files are gone. We lost them forever. There's no more backlog of the podcast.
Are you trying to give me a panic attack?
Yeah, now you know how Frankie's gonna feel.
I don't want to know how Frankie's gonna feel.
Frida, 20th Century Girl says, "I love how unpredictable One Piece still is. I had an early prediction that Sanji's cooking would finish Big Mom off, and the Straw Hats would escape with some kind of aid. Bada bing, bada boom. Now it's just bada bing, bada doom."
Sounds like a 4Kids joke.
Oh my God, Capone and 4Kids.
Yeah.
Of course. Next one comes from another one from Elvergun. Could the graves in Big Mom's mouth be the graves of the kids she ate?
I mean, unless they were dogs.
Yeah, she just eats puppies.
Everybody.
I don't think she stops at people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one comes from Dark Leviathan, who says, Oda did such a good editing on the chapter to merge Big Mom's hallucinations and the sea battle. Also, you think she's eating citizens of Fluffy Island because the people heard that her rampage was over and it was safe. Well, I don't know if that necessarily means that, but it could.
Yeah.
I mean, I still wouldn't, even if she wasn't, rampaging, I still wouldn't go near Big Mom eating something.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat.
She's probably still eating that cake. It's huge.
Next one comes from 91 Ryan, who says, "Man, that wedding cake made Big Mom go from skinny to thick in no time flat." I should pre-screen these. Anyway, how did Peckham's get into the mirror world? I thought Brule was watching the fight inside the mirror, not outside. That's actually a very good question.
Yeah, I think we raised that one when we saw him, and I don't think anyone has found a satisfactory answer to that. So
it's a mystery. He's a mystery, Peckham's.
Yep, he's a mystery.
Mystems.
Coming up on the end of the piece of tweet here, a couple more. First one comes from a friend of the show, Joe. We met her in
yes,
Columbus.
We know Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. Anyway, so now that One Piece is over, what are you guys going to do about the podcast?
Well, we're gonna focus on making it Simpsons podcast.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, fairy tale.
Fairy tale.
You don't think there's enough Simpsons podcasts already, Alex?
There's never enough.
I mean, there aren't any Kitaro podcasts, so
yeah, it's Gege no podcast.
I thought we could just focus on Naoki Urasawa manga from now on. Trying to think.
Zach loves this cliffhanger so much he wants to just go to nothing but cliffhangers.
Exactly. Perfect.
I don't think I have the nose for Urasawa.
Oh, I wish I could see all of the podcast members drawn in that style.
Just big eggplants hanging off our faces.
He has different types of noses. They're not all quite like that. Go ahead.
Okay, next one comes from Quip Quest, who says, "Do you think Sakazuki will be set up as Sabo's final fight and not Luffy's? I think Blackbeard being Luffy's final fight makes more sense. The Reverie would be the perfect place for them to meet and for Sabo to challenge Sakazuki's worldview, making them rivals."
Sure.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It does have it is sort of, the storytelling way to do it with, he killed Ace. Now Sabo has the power. his
If
brother.
it's not going to be Luffy, it would have to be Sabo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
But
just
he
want him
and
to
Luffy
die
should
from
still
drowning.
like. He and Luffy should still like exchange words. I think they have to have at least an emotional confrontation.
You know what I want with Sakazuki is for him to be like, there's some, eventually we find something that messes with Logia powers, and he basically, like, he sort of sinks into the sea, but he doesn't drown. He just becomes an island. He is
Yes.
like a Sakazuki island. Sometimes he blows his top,
For a long time,
just
I just
stuck
want him to. I want him to sink down, like solidify into like a creepy statue at the bottom of the ocean.
I
And then
really
that's it.
like that. Yeah.
Poetic
All right, and
Yeah.
fine. And the final one, Stacy Chen asks, if you could get a plush version of any characters from this week's color spread, who would you want?
Oh,
Well,
this is
Cat
hard.
Viper.
Cat Viper.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What about BB? I think maybe also.
BB and Roddy, that's a good one.
Yeah, those two together.
Rowdy Peeper.
Or Brooke, Brooke
which
with the dog.
character I
eating it.
really like the way he like chibied down was Frankie with the fishing pole
Yeah.
and stuff. Looks
Frankie
super
looks
solid.
great.
Yeah.
he does.
I kind of like a little Peckham's.
I would collect this whole set, and I don't
Yeah.
say that with a lot of anything, but I would definitely buy all of these.
I hope it becomes a figure set like some of them do.
Yeah.
Mm,
This
that would
Zach
be
Eric
crazy
will-
expensive.
They're gonna make it into like a gotcha set where you got to get them from the little machine.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's what I spend all my money on, so that works.
Ironically, the one that I wouldn't get is Carrot, because it's just Carrot like she appears in the manga normally.
Yeah, but she is getting a grilled carrot.
That is true.
So that's gonna do it for Piece Together. Why don't we round off and do some Know Your Piece? Is that what it is? Is that what we're calling it?
That's what we're going
Sure.
for this week.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 513 for April 2nd, 2018. Thank you all for coming on the show. Let's go around the horn, and then we'll do some trivia, some fun stuff to round us off. Jill, where could people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Pirates Unluck and on the Ultra server of Final Fantasy XIV as Pyrrha Unluck.
Interesting. Joey, where could people find you?
They can follow me on Twitter at Joey Weiser. JoeyWeiser.tumblr.com is where I post news about my comics work. I have a 5-volume graphic novel series called Merman that's available in print and digital, so please check that out. And I do a podcast with Alex and our friend Scott called Toho Yaro. That is a Japanese movie podcast that comes out every month. And I hosted the upcoming episode, which is about female prisoner number 701, Scorpion, as requested by Casey. So, and in that episode where you're running a little contest where you can win a free copy of Unchained Melody, The Films of Meiko Kaji, a book published by Arrow Video all about Meiko Kaji. So tune in and check that out, and follow Toho Yaro on Twitter and stuff too.
And just to say, Meiko Kaji, the star of Female Prisoner.
Yeah, Scorpion and Lady Snowblood, which we covered last year.
Steven.
You can follow me on Twitter at Translatosaurus for 90% cat videos and pictures.
Alex.
Dude exclamation, all one word, on Twitter and Instagram. And follow and listen to Toho Yaro. The new episode's coming soon.
And Ed, where could the good people out there contact us?
You are Zach_Logan on Twitter. I am Edward E. One Piece. Podcast can be found at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/One Piece Podcast. One Piece Podcast is our Skype name. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. Please support us. Patreon.com/One Piece Podcast. You can subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe on Google Play, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, or call us on our phone number. Zach?
Apple Podcast has been out for a while, Ed. That phone number is 347-497-MAJI.
Maji.
That phone number again is
Maji.
347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Anytime.
Except you can't anymore because the series is over.
Never time.
Never time. So before we leave, we have our game that we've been doing. Know Your Piece. For those
Shut
who
your
have,
mouth.
What?
Know your piece and shut your mouth.
Know your
That's an
piece and shut
interesting-
your mouth. That's
Hey,
interesting
Joey.
title.
Hey, Joey, what do you think about the segment?
I'm loving it.
There's
Finally got it on the air.
yeah, okay. After 3 tries and really forced that one there. Okay, so what we do here is we will name a category. Each of you have to go around and name something, a character or something in that category. If you repeat, you're out. If you can't think of something, you're out. If you say something wrong, you're also out. This week we're going in the order that we did the manga recap as we usually do. So it's going to be Jill, Steven, Alex, Joey, and Ed.
I wasn't first. Ed had the first page.
No, but otherwise I would always go first.
Yeah,
We
it
always
is.
go
It's
with
the one after Ed, yeah. And Jill, this is your first time playing?
Oh, I won last time I was on.
Okay, so you have
I
one
think she's
donut.
one victory, yeah.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
donut.
I don't have the list in front of me right now, but this week I figured talking a little bit about Big Mom's backstory, so let's talk about giants. So, name the goal today is to name all giants or giant-like creatures that have been named thus far in One Piece. Okay, you guys
Giant-like
ready?
creatures.
There's 3 of those that I am thinking of specifically. There's also
Okay.
one half giant.
Gotcha.
Okay. Ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Jill, you're starting us off.
Oars.
Steven.
Chief Jarl.
Jarl, yes. Alex.
Jarl, yes.
Goldberg.
Joey.
John Giant.
Not, what was the other, what was the fake one? No,
Jin
Giant.
Giants.
Jim Giant.
that is not a real one. Ed.
Saul.
Jill.
Oars Junior.
You want to say the full name?
Little Oars Junior. I don't remember
Yeah,
what it
that's
is.
it. You got it. You got
There
it.
you go.
Hey, there we go.
Steven.
Dory.
Yep. Alex.
Brogy.
Joey.
Wadatsumi?
Yeah, I didn't have that here, but I'll.
He's pretty big.
Yeah,
He's
he's
huge. He's bigger than
he's as
giant.
big as they come, basically. So I'll give it to you. I didn't have that, but yes. Where are we here? Ed.
Brogy.
Said already. Sorry, Ed.
What? No, he said Dory.
No, they also
Alex
said
said
Dory.
Alex
Oh.
said Brogan. Sorry, Ed. Jill.
Hyrodin?
Yep. Hold on one sec. Oh, is that Alexa? That is my Alexa talking. Okay. Where are we here? Steven.
My turn. Jarl.
Yep. Alex.
Big Pun.
Yep.
Yep. That's I'd stored that one. I was holding that one for later, and then I screwed up
Joey.
the Dory Brogy one.
Is Zunisha a giant creature?
I mean,
Wait, I'm gonna sound like an idiot. Can you remind me who's Zunisha?
The
oh,
elephant.
come on, Zach.
So-
Oh, no, that is not. That does not
All
count.
right.
Doesn't count. Okay.
Sorry, Joey.
Bye.
Jill.
Holy shit! I just had this. Loki.
Yes. Steven.
Rodo or Road or however
Yep.
you.
Yep. You're good. You're good. Alex.
Oimo.
Jill. We're down to 3
Ashi.
here. Steven.
Oh fuck.
We're getting the hard ones here.
Yeah, I'm starting to run out of options.
3 seconds.
Oh, fuck.
That's not one of them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no.
Steven. Alex.
San Juan Wolf.
Yep. Jill.
Do we count Big Mom?
No.
Oh.
But Alex, if you get this, you win. Just have to name one.
Yeah. Fuck. What's that dude's name?
I remember the one that I was thinking.
Yeah.
This is gonna bite me in the butt, isn't it? Because I know who I'm thinking
Okay.
of.
So we need to do a
I know
tiebreaker. Yeah, Ed, you wanna guess some?
No, the one that I still had was Stanson.
Stanson, yeah.
That's the guy that I was thinking
There's a
of,
few
yeah.
more
Did
you
anybody
guys.
say Loki?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said
There's still a
Loki,
few
yeah.
more you guys forgot. You forgot Gerd, the girl from
Oh,
past.
yeah.
Gertie.
Raiden, Aerie, who we never saw but is mentioned, LaCroix, and Rance, the two of the vice admirals. So
Right.
we are going to need to go to a tiebreaker between Jill and Alex. So let's see what we got here for you. All right, here's your tiebreaker. Name all the members of the Longarm tribe that have been named.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I have one.
Jill starts.
Apu.
Okay.
Hideo.
Okay, Jill.
Nope, that's it.
Alex, you could win if you get this.
Oh
Mr.
God,
Mr. Manager.
that is what Brooke calls it.
Yeah.
And there's a
He
few
has
more
he
ones.
has a name. He has Mr. Manager has a name.
He does? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep.
Okay.
Data book name.
Yep.
There's
There's one.
Of course he does.
Alex, I will give you a huge hint. It is one of your favorite characters from Mirror World.
Oh, motherfucker. Diesel.
Yeah. Okay. Jill, are you okay that I gave that hint?
Yeah, that is totally fine.
There's
Alex,
also Charlotte Yukuru.
Yeah, I don't.
The
remember her fucking
Mr. Manager's name is Sankrin.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Key Long or something like that. Something
Yeah.
vaguely Chinese. Yeah.
So good. Wow, that was way more
Key-long
competitive
pie.
than I expected.
That was fun.
Thank you. Thank you guys for sticking around for that. We'll be back. Maybe, who knows? Next week we will be back for volume 88. We may have some special guests joining us for that and a whole lot more. And then we'll be back with chapter 901, maybe the week after that. So until then, my name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
My name is Alex.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.
I am oven it.
Ba 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 ba. I can't believe we finally got it on the podcast.
Woof, chomp, gulp. Woof, chomp, gulp. What's this? What's this flavor? It tastes just like a dream, but I couldn't have defined it. But why I can't even define it. This taste is far from ordinary. It gets dead puppies dancing merry, along with all confectionery in my pet flavor cemetery. So sweet, and milky, and rich, and risky. Ah, yes, that's it. That's just the spark. A flavor bomb in an amusement park. In my stomach, you will see a great big flavor ceremony. Tell me, mother, can you sense it? This overwhelming sugar bliss? Yes, that's right, the one and only flavor of sheer happiness. When will we reunite at last to eat this cake and reminisce? So sweet, and milky, and rich, and risky. And the homies, yeah. Tell me, mother, do you think I've got enough ability to build a place of happiness? A world of pure tranquility where all the races of the globe are treated with normality, but if you leave, you'll have to face your imminent mortality. A deal with the devil makes Totoland serene. Here we're all a family, thanks to our loving queen, Big Mom. And then, that was yummy down the hatch.